Good evening, everybody. Will Winkleman back at historic McMorran Place Arena in downtown Port Huron. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. Well, the Prowlers are starting a 4-game homestand, and they're taking on one of the most interesting teams in the FPHL in the Topeka Scarecrows. This is a team that has made big swings on the trade market all season long, and since they last played the Prowlers a month ago in Topeka, they have added Stephen Klink, former Watertown Wolves star, who is now the Scarecrows leader in goals and points. Josh LaBelle, the big defenseman who has played for both Danbury and Twin City this season. He now leads the team in assists. They have also added former Wolves and PD Ice Cats star Trevor Lord to the roster. So much high-end talent based on the numbers of these past seasons for these guys and even this current season, and yet the Scarecrows have struggled over the past few weeks, especially after making those deals. Now, they did take 2 of 3 last weekend from the Indiana Sentinels, so maybe they are starting to put things together. We'll see if they can take another step tonight as the Prowlers try and bounce back from a loss in Indiana last night. You have much more coming your way on the PHP Network. Pregame show is next.
Is that him?
Look over there. It's Bob. Wow, just look at that hair. Ever since he started getting his stuff from Global, the guy's unstoppable.
So that's what confidence can do?
That's just not fair.
Oh my goodness, it's Bob! Bob! Bob!
Give me the phone. I'm calling Global Pharmacy Plus for myself.
Welcome back live here to McMorran Place, the Prowlers and the Topeka Scarecrows getting set to go in just a few moments. Will Winkleman here with you on the PHP Network. Before we get to tonight's game, the crowd getting hyped up here at McMorran. Take a look back at the last game featuring these teams, starting with the Scarecrows. Well, we already covered this game actually last night when the Prowlers faced the Sentinels, because it's the last game for the Sentinels as well. We'll quickly go back over it as Jacob Gagnon and Trevor Crosby had 3 points apiece. Topeka took 2 out of 3 in Indiana after a dominant 6-1 win on Sunday. For the Prowlers, their last game was that one last night in Indiana. Taking on the Sentinels, they ended up falling by a final 4-1 in a 15th and final meeting against Indiana. Port Huron was down a number of their regular players, and they took the loss at 4-1. Jameson York made 2 saves. His first goal start. This game was originally scheduled to play back on January the 25th. That finished was 0 March. Let's take a look at what this means for the standings. Will the Empire Michigan 9-1 change since last night? Or really for the last time there? The Prowlers and the Sentinels. As Port Huron lost, so Indiana picked up 3 points. Doesn't matter too much. They're already eliminated. So the standings say this is pretty much the same as they were. Let's take a look at some players to watch this evening. And start on the Eagles side with Stephen Klink. in the pregame open clink. 31 goals, 65 points. Both of those lead the Scarecrows, although only a few of those points have come as a Scarecrow spent most of the season with the Watertown Wolves. On the other side, for the Prowlers, the last time these teams matched up, Archu Hakela had a heck of a weekend. 3 games in Topeka, 4 assists, and a +2 for Archu Hakela. He's looking to get himself back going offensively. It's been a little bit since Archu Hakela has found the back of the net. Take a quick look at the line for tonight's game. Matt Graham will be back in the lineup tonight. So is Garrison Gagnon. So Luke James and Dylan Hardy are both out tonight. Triple Cross will get back to 7 forward and 6 defensemen. We'll take you down to ice for the rest of tonight's pregame ceremony.
Make some noise for your Port Huron Prowlers! Whose house? Whose house? Whose house? Somebody scream! It's now time for tonight's Orthopedic Associates starting lineup. On defense, number 16, Brian Parsons. On defense, number 19, Austin Federley. At forward, number 21, Alexander Ray. At forward, number 46, Jamie Bucell. At forward, number 79, Reggie Millette. And in goal, number 39, Bailey Huber. The head coach of the Prowlers is Matt Graham, associate head coach Chris Paulin, and assistant coach Alex Johnson. The athletic trainer Bridget Smith, presented by Port Huron Internal Medicine Associates. Equipment managers Brian Larson and Ken Falk. Ladies and gentlemen, please direct your attention to the Zamboni entrance for the Color Guard Scout Troop 104. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise, and gentlemen, may we suggest removing your caps as we honor America and salute the men and women serving our country with the singing of our national anthem, presented by Duraclean by Mike Batchelor. We remind all members of the armed forces and veterans who are present but not in uniform that you may render the military salute. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a warm welcome to Metro Detroit singer Lily Alatar.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets were clear, the bombs bursting in air gave proof through that night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner
Let's try this again. Hopefully you all can hear me now. That was the national anthem here from McMorran Place. The Prowlers and the Scarecrows getting set to go in just a few minutes. Let's take a look at tonight's Orthopedic Associates starting lineup for the Prowlers. They'll start with Alex Ray, Reggie Millette, and Jamie Bucell up front. Brian Parsons and Austin Federley, the defense pairing. And Bailey Huber is back between the pipes tonight for the Port Huron Prowlers. Huber will go against Sammy Bernard for the Topeka Scarecrows. Bernard, the workhorse for the Scarecrows squad, and they've tried to get him some backup help, but he is still far and away the best goaltender in that goalie room. He will get another start this evening, and some of the best numbers in the FPHL belong to Sammy Bernard. Meanwhile, Bailey Huber played both against the Watertown Wolves last weekend, Saturday and Sunday. First time in his pro career that he has played back-to-back games, and he won them both. Well, the Prowlers and Meyer are combining for the Goals for Good program. For every goal the Prowlers score this season, Meyer will donate money to help deliver meals to families in our community. So far this season, the Prowlers and Meyer have helped deliver over 9,000 meals to families in need in our community. As I get the siren going here in Port Huron, that means it's just about hockey time. Prowlers starting a 4-game homestand. They've spent the last 4 games away from home. Certainly happy to get in front of their home fans. They're wearing specialty St. Patrick's Day themed jerseys this evening. That means the Topeka Scarecrows are wearing their typical home black jerseys, which means their numbers are harder to see, but such is life. We'll see who the Scarecrows are starting with. Looks like it will be Trevor Graspy's line. Jacob Gagnon on defense with Connor Lind. Or Connor Lind playing forward, with Graspy. And Trevor Lord, one of those big swing trade acquisitions for the Scarecrows. Lord, 6 points in 7 games as a Scarecrow, acquired from the PD Ice Cats on February 25th in exchange for a player to be named later. That player was named a week later, and that was Elijah Wilson. So a lot to give up, certainly in a 1-for-1 trade, especially a guy like Elijah Wilson, who had been proven to work in Topeka. Lots of conversations being had ahead of this opening puck drop. Might we get a fight here? Brian Parsons looks like he's bidding for one with Connor Lind. Those two have fought already this season. So keep an eye out for that. Let's see if we can get the puck down first, though. And no fight coming here. Gloves stay on, and we're underway here in Port Huron. Here is the aforementioned Parsons. Giving it off to Reggie Millette. Millette gets the red line, dumps it all the way around. Connor Lind pushes around to the far side. And the rink-wide feed is on the stick of Lord. Sent around behind the net. Millette towards Parsons, got through him. Reverse down deep, and it's Lord. Bouncing it up high, Blaisdell, a blast, changed direction, hit the referee. Gagnon trying to find it. Austin Federley swoops in. Graspy, centered, came all the way out to Lind at the point. His wrister gloved and held by Huber with Gagnon right in his kitchen. So a face-off coming up down in Port Huron's end as the Scarecrows get the first pressure of the game. And top line out here for Topeka. Stephen Klink centering Cam Clark and Scott Kowash. Klink wins the faceoff back to Jacob Steer, number 4. Jordan Steer, I should say, one of the collegiate signings for this Scarecrows group. Vinny DeCumbis dumps the puck in on Bernard. He paddles it away to the corner. Puck kept in at the line by Favaro. Wrist shot off a stick. Lands in the near side corner. Price now to Cumbus. Played it towards an area. Clark took the handoff from Bernard. Price trying to squeeze off Cam. Clark took the puck. Price looking towards Anderson. Long reach of big Josh LaBelle gets involved there. Price trying to send it down deep. And it's taken away by Topeka. Up comes Clark. He left the puck behind, just able to dump it in before Vinny DeCumbis took it the other direction. Favaro, lead pass tipped in by Artu Heikkila. Grabbed by Connor Nagy, number 7. Heikkila looking in front, backhand save by Bernard. And he'll get a whistle, and Avery Smith giving Lucas Lockney a couple of shoves. Smith back in the lineup for this Topeka squad, returned from ECHL Allen Americans yesterday. Had a goal and 7 penalty minutes in 7 games in the ECHL. Speaking of the Allen Americans, earlier this week, Braden Simmons Fisher, the former Prowler who spent this entire season with Allen, was called up to the AHL for the Iowa Wild. So again, a big congratulations, Braden Simmons Fisher, who got his pro hockey start right here in Port Huron. That was last season. He was a collegiate signing. Corey Checo skates in with a shot missed wide. He was a collegiate signing by the Motor City Rockers last year. Collegiate signing this season, Garrison Gagnon. He has the puck now for Port Huron, wearing number 74 in white. Turned around by Smith, but he drew a penalty, holding the call against Avery Smith. And the Scarecrows penalty leader is back in the lineup and now back in the sin bin. Now the Prowlers will get the first power play of the game. They went 0 for 4 last night down in Indiana. Scarecrows PK is 5th in the league, 11 for 12 against the Sentinels last week. And you see Smith getting both arms around Gagnon, giving him a nice little hug, and Smith will take a seat. Off the drop here. Kicked back to the line. Oregon across to Federley. Prowlers set up. Matt Graham back in the lineup after missing last night's game. He's on this power play unit. Smollett walks in and shoots, and it's off the stick of Sammy Bernard. Smollett again. This time he goes down to Lockney. Back up high, Reggie Millette walking in and shooting. Kick save, Bernard, and the rebound cleared all the way down by Clark. Oregon back for it, both teams making changes. Millette across to Bucell, fresh off the bench, but popped up off his stick and into the Topeka bench, out of play. Minute 17 left on Port Huron's first man advantage. You take another look at the second of those Reggie Millette chances. That was the one kicked out by Bernard. Millette can let it fly from up high. He has 4 power play goals this season, and a lot of them have come from above the tops of the circles. Blake Anderson over to Bobby Price. Circles back. Favaro up to Anderson. Gets into the offensive zone. Blake Anderson. Take the shot. Favaro at the top. Over to Price. Back to Favaro. Straight on. Gets to the slot. Tried to go over to Anderson, just too far in front. Anderson tried to center. Nobody home. And the Scarecrows clear. 35 seconds left in Port Huron's power play. Favaro up towards Anderson. Near side, it's Price. Wheeling in. Price dangles. Getting back to take the puck from him was Trevor Graspy, and he sends it all the way down. It's taken away, and Huber able to make a stop after he turned it over to Clark. Lucas Lockney works in. Down to Graham in the corner. Out high. One-timer, Oregon. Stopped by Bernard. And he's got the rebound covered. Smith just did step out of the penalty box. So the Prowlers' power play is over. And the best chance on the man advantage came for the Scarecrows. You see Bailey Huber playing the puck behind his net, and Clark able to take it from him. Huber just sprawled out, got it with the right pad. And the Prowlers able to rescue it behind him. Back to 5-on-5 as Bird plays it across to LaBelle. And Avery Smith about a step and a half offside as Corey Checo tried to skate in with it. LaBelle, again, another one of those big swing trade acquisitions for these Scarecrows. Acquired on March 9th for Cole Crowder and Grant Bondi. Made his Scarecrows debut on Sunday in Indiana and had 2 assists in that game. He leads the Scarecrows in helpers with 35, although 33 of those came with the Danbury Hat Tricks and Twin City Thunderbirds. It was a surprise when the Hat Tricks traded him earlier in the year. At least a surprise for those of us outside of the Hat Tricks organization. Not sure about inside. But I guess less of a surprise when the Thunderbirds traded LaBelle, as they're looking to retool and looking more ahead to next year. You saw that with their trade of Gus Ford, and they picked up 3 quality players in that deal. The Thunderbirds will certainly get off to a much better start next year, I expect. Of course, rosters may not look exactly how you expect next October based on how they look right now, but hand pass called here against the Prowlers. But I expect the Thunderbirds to have a much better start than they had last year. We'll stop talking about the Continental Division, get back to this Empire Division action when we come back on the PHP Network.
This isn't working. LJ, pass me those flyers. No look behind the back pass. It's a whole play. LJ, come on. Gap up. Close the gap. Close the gap. What are we saying? This isn't working. We need a shift change. Let's bring in the professionals.
Hello, I'm home. There he is. What is happening? Relax. We won. They brought back the snack wrap. Spicy or ranch? Spicy. Yeah, go. Yeah. Just one little bite. Can you stop? Oh, sorry.
Gather your crew. Snack wrap is back.
Back here in Port Huron, still scoreless. 5:35 gone in the Munger Physical Therapy first period. Will Wiggleman and the entire crew back with you at McMorran Place. Thanks so much for joining us this evening. The start of the final series between the Prowlers and the Topeka Scarecrows, a 2-game set here at McMorran. They played this season. They had 2 2-game sets scheduled and 2 3-game sets. Both 2-game series were here and both 3-game series out in Topeka. Prowlers have won 6 of the 8 games so far, including a 3-game sweep. Took 8 of 9 points the last time these teams matched up out in Topeka. That was about a month ago. And they came into that series tied for second place in the Empire Division. And since then, Prowlers have left no doubt who's going to get home ice advantage in the first round of the Commissioner's Cup playoffs. Still not fully clinched yet, but Port Huron with a 14-point lead on both Topeka and Blue Ridge for that second spot. And the real battle for the Scarecrows is for third. Again, they're tied with the Bobcats with 75 points. Scarecrows do hold the total wins tiebreaker advantage, as well as having a game in hand. So they are in the driver's seat, but they do need to get some wins because the Bobcats do have a relatively weak schedule coming up the rest of the season. Lots of Biloxi and lots of Baton Rouge. Bobcats are visiting the Zydeco, or hosting the Zydeco, pardon me, this weekend. Blake Anderson, Cam Clark in on this face-off.
And they'll try it again. Decumbus and Clark. As Anderson was kicked out of the draw, Anderson tried to poke it back to the point. That didn't work, but Federley somehow able to keep Litvinov from going the other way, or Klink, pardon me, from going the other way. Now they spring Klink. Parsons trying to cut him down. Here's Koash, a shot! Swallowed up by Bailey Huber. Scott Koash hustled up the right wing side. Federley was able to block the first attempt from Klink to get out of the zone. The second try, they were able to spring him and get a pass over to Scott Koash. Bailey Huber able to make a big save there. Koash with 46 points and 22 goals. Both of those were the highs for the Scarecrows before the Klink trade. As Millette one-hands it along to Bucell. Gagnon for Bucell. Chips it around Koash. Bucell gets back to it. Has Millette, but couldn't get it to him. Good stick by LaBelle. Sending it right out of play there was Klink. And the face-off will come all the way down into Sammy Bernard's end. It just went into the Topeka bench and not over the glass. So not out of play and not a delayed game penalty. Cummins' line back out there for the Prowlers. Draws against Checo. One to the boards. Gordon Whalen back behind his net. Sent ahead. Oregon takes over and neutralized. Fed it right off of Decumbus as he tried to go all the way across to Anderson. Whalen wires it into the Prowler end. Oregon, reverse for Favaro. He starts to look ahead. Lead pass just out of Price's reach. And that goes down for an icing. Get an edge in your game with Top Cheese Stick Wax, the official wax of the Port Huron Prowlers. Use code Prowlers15 for 15% off at TopCheeseHockeyWax.com. Face off all the way down in Huber's end after the icing. Face off one back by Anderson. Oregon played it in front of his net, and Favaro skates into the puck. Tossed ahead towards Price. Batted away from him. Graham fresh off the bench. Had to absorb contact from Avery Smith. Bird over to Smith. Wrapped around. Parsons keeps it moving. And up comes Hartu Heikkila, but Lynn took it in, sets it towards the net. And Smith centered for nobody. Lockney working in. Lucas Lockney with a shot kick save by Bernard. Lind back behind his net, swept it up the far boards. Federley keeps it alive, floats it through. Didn't get all the way as Lind blocked it. Lockney over to Graham. Tried to go back in front off a Scarecrow and out of the zone. Graham had Heikkila breaking down the right wing side. Parsons for Federley. All the way up, tipped along, and dumped in by Heikkila. Prowlers looking for a change. Lind tried to feed it off to his left. Millette just had one hand on his stick trying to get in the passing lane. Lind fanned on it. Millette just didn't have his stick in a good position to catch that and bring it in. Well, that would have been a golden opportunity for one of the Prowlers' top offensive weapons. Bucell couldn't squeeze by. Grasby drops it off for LaBelle. Reverse for Grasby as Ray knocked LaBelle to a knee. Long lead pass tapped back by Lockhart. Bucell couldn't step around LaBelle. And it slid out of the zone. Gagnon back for it. Garrison Gagnon. Over to Brett Lockhart. Lead pass tipped in by Bucell. Millette took it from LaBelle. Looking up high, has Oregon fresh off the bench. Flung around. Favaro got it back down the wall. Anderson for Oregon. Now DeCumbis looking in front. Anderson stopped by Bernard as he slid to his left. Favaro just did keep that puck in at the line as it was bouncing. Skilled play there from Nick Favaro. Prowlers stay on the attack. DeCumbis, sharp angle try. Hit off of Bernard. Clark knocked down by Price. DeCumbis turns the corner, takes the shot, blocked by LaBelle. They lead it all the way on for Klink on a breakaway. Glove save, Bailey Huber! We'll take a timeout. Bailey Huber's glove keeps us scoreless in Port Huron.
Hey guys, what's going on?
Hi guys, we just stopped at Industrial Park Marathon to get some fuel and some snacks before the Prowlers game at McMorran.
Nice. Yeah, we just stopped by here at Industrial Park Marathon so I can get a Slurpee before the game.
Wait till after the game. If the Prowlers score 3 or more goals, Slurpees will be free.
Thanks for the info. I'm going to get my Slurpee after, but we'll see you at the Prowlers game.
See you at the game. Go Prowlers!
Back here in Port Huron, they honor all the veterans here in attendance. Thank you to all the veterans who are tuning in on our live stream. Thank you all for your service. Active for veterans. Prowlers are wearing specialty St. Patrick's Day themed jerseys this evening. They were scheduled to be worn a couple of weeks ago. Shipping delays, these things happen, geopolitics, all of that fun stuff. But you see them there. Very cool jerseys. They went white this year with the green Prowler logo. There are some shamrocks in the round logo on the shoulders, and those will be auctioned off after the game to support Sanilac Youth Hockey. Also have a specialty jersey tomorrow night as the Prowlers will wear breast cancer awareness jerseys, and those will be auctioned off for taking a shot at breast cancer. Blake Anderson turning away from a couple of Scarecrows. Trying to hand it off for Price. Now Anderson skates back into the loose puck. Anderson peels back. Federley over to Parsons. Gave it back. And Federley goes ahead. Tapped over to DeCumbis. Drops it off. Price cuts in and shoots. And a save made by Bernard with a left pad. Nagy and Anderson came together. Popped out. Nobody can get it on their stick. Kicked ahead, and now Anderson turns it back. Cycle down and around. Price trying to get to it. Put it back behind the net. Anderson gets there along with Whalen. Delayed penalty coming up against Blake Anderson. And a slashing call is called here. Actually, it's Vinny DeCumbis heading to the box, so the Scarecrows will get their first power play of the game with 8:41 left to go in period one. Scarecrows power play is 6th in the FPHL, went 4 for 14 last weekend in the 3-game set against Indiana. Prowlers PK was perfect last night in Indiana, ranked 3rd in the league. Klink, Grasby, Smith, Lind, and Lord, the first unit out for the Scarecrows. Lind slid it down. Delayed penalty again coming up against the Prowlers. So as Favaro touches up, we'll get 1 minute and 46 seconds of 5-on-3 time for the Topeka Scarecrows. And this time it's Favaro stepping into the penalty box. A huge opportunity for Topeka to get the first goal in this game. Bucell, Federle, and Lockhart out there for Port Huron. Scarecrows have switched up their unit. LaBelle, Gagnon, Clark, Bird, and Coash. LaBelle, who's great at sifting pucks through from up high. He works the blue line, gets the puck from Clark. Looking over to Coash down low. Up top to LaBelle. Set one through, that one tipped wide. Clark with a pass over to Gagnon. In front, came all the way across, and they score. Scott Coash on the backside as Huber was playing the shot. Puck came all the way through to him, and he's got the first one of this game. Good fake from Clark. See Huber coming out to challenge Gagnon, and able to slide it all the way through to Coash, who picks up his 23rd goal of the year and extends his point streak to 6 games. Still a minute and 36 seconds of 5-on-4 time here for the Scarecrows. The Prowlers PK gets right back to work. Oregon sends it around towards Parsons, and he clears it down towards Bernard. Lind over towards Lord. Chased by Price. Lord drops it off, and here comes Lind. Settled down. Grasby curls back to in the middle. Clink a shot. Glove down by Bailey Huber. Good play by Grasby as he found Clink in the high slot. Austin Bird and Jacob Gagnon, by the way, pick up the assist on the goal by Coash. Hakala able to force Gagnon out of the Prowlers' end. Topeka has to reset here. 52 seconds left on their power play. LaBelle, right wing side to Gagnon. Dumped it in behind the net. Coash and Gagnon get there together. No relation, Garrison Gagnon and Jacob Gagnon. They say their names slightly different, and neither of them use that Gagnon French pronunciation that you hear sometimes. Prowlers had a Gagnon on their team a couple of years ago. That would be Sam Gagnon. Clark wheels in, toe dry, gets to the net, and a save by Huber. Oregon spun around by Coash. Bird battling with Lockhart. Coash slides it up the wall. LaBelle couldn't get it through. Bird gets back to it. Back to 5-on-5. Coash in front, came all the way through to Gagnon. He walks in with a rising shot knocked down by Huber. Gagnon. Now Lockhart. Prowlers with 3 defensemen on the ice. And Spavaro able to chip it just out of the defensive zone. Approaching 6 minutes left to go in period 1. Scott Coash has the only goal so far, a 5-on-3 power play marker. Whalen, who was on the IR the last time these teams matched up a month ago, got it ahead, and it's dumped in by Grant Kuykendall, number 71. Bucell spun around by Checo in the corner. Checo's taken a penalty, and the parade to the boxes continues. Prowlers will get their second power play of period 1. So Checo sits for 2, and the Prowlers man advantage has a chance to respond. They send out Price, Favaro, Bucell, Anderson, and Millette. As you see there, Checo wrapping up Bucell, and that is the reason for the call. Second holding penalty against the Scarecrows in this first period. Anderson Up to Favaro. Now Price. Working down the boards. Favaro. Anderson. Drops back. Favaro blast. Hit his own man. Bucell on the way through. Favaro gets the puck back down deep. Heikola around the net. Up to Price. Bucell's lined up right in front of Bernard. Anderson sent it there. Shouldered away. Just hit the top of the glass but stays in. Price slid it up high to Favaro. Down the boards, Favaro to Bucell. Try to pull it out in front. Heikola getting back to it. He keeps the pressure on. Bucell. Up high. Price. Favaro. Walks to the middle. Takes the shot. Floated just wide. Price back to his skates. Digging away. Got it down to Anderson. 52 seconds left on the power plays. Anderson shot blockered away by Bernard. Anderson once again. He loads it up and shoots once more. That was blocked. Heikola in the corner. Around to Anderson. In front, Bucell save Bernard. And it's swept all the way down. 30 seconds left on the Prowlers power play as Millette goes back for the puck. Millette drops it off to Organ. Organ weaves in. Outside Graham. Federley to Millette. Takes a wrist shot that Bernard got with the goal stick. Millette again. Whipped it wide that time. Kicked up off the dasher and out of play. We'll take our final timeout. 3:38 left to go in period one. Final seconds. Getting set to tick off Prowler's second power play of the game.
Yeah, I don't know about this one, fellas.
Boys, we don't overcome adversity by backing down. But yeah, I don't know about this one.
That's reassuring.
We're so screwed.
All right, boys. Here's the game plan. LJ, you start with bananas. B-Way.
Wait, why do I have to do the bananas?
Because you're the softest on the team.
I don't want the bananas.
This thing is going to melt. We got to hurry up.
I won't do it.
Okay, both of you. I will do the bananas and the whipped cream. Fets, please continue.
Who's paying for this anyway?
I am. I just bought my tickets for the Prowlers game this weekend, and the Milk House gave me 25% off my order.
Fets, why'd you buy the tickets? You're literally on the team.
For the discount.
So are you all ready to give it a try?
Oh, we're ready.
It's true. Get 25% off your entire order at the Milk House, October through April. Simply show your ticket stubs at checkout and enjoy your discounted treat.
Keep up with your Prowlers all season long on social media. Follow us on Facebook at the Port Huron Prowlers, Instagram at PH Prowlers, and Twitter at PH Prowlers. And you can find more information on our website, phprowlers.com.
Tonight's washed up player of the game, presented by Chippewa Laundromat, is Scott Koash. Chippewa Laundromat is Port Huron's only multi-generational laundromat. And as you can tell, we pick that before the game begins. As Scott Koash is the only player with a goal so far in this one. Koash played 2 seasons with the Motor City Rockers, franchise goals and points leader, and spent last season with the Monroe Moccasins and was selected from Monroe in the expansion draft this year, 29-year-old out of Plainfield, Illinois. Quick clear off the draw from the Topeka Scarecrows. That will take care of the rest of the Prowlers' power play. Port Huron 0 for 2 on the man advantage, still trailing by 1. Garrison Gagnon drops it back to Lockhart. Gagnon over towards Lockhart, one-handed it along, claps back deep by Trevor Graspy. Lord pitchforks it up the wall, Steer down the boards to LaBelle. Straight away with a shot off the back wall. Huber gets to it, couldn't cover though. Lord sets it right through the crease. Now LaBelle for Lord on the half wall. Steer gets it to him. Trevor Lord. LaBelle straight away. Pass down low, cut off by Gagnon. Harrison Gagnon able to stick handle out of the zone and get it up to Millette. Steer. Up the wall, bounced back by Oregon. Millette now. Prowlers trying to tightrope the blue line. They do as Lockney wraps it deep. LaBelle up to Gagnon. High toss out, glove down by Graham. Lucas Lockney drops it for Oregon. 2:13 left to go in period one. As they get to Graham behind everybody. Lockney scores! The stretch pass to Matt Graham, and Lucas Lockney fishes the 2-0. We're all tied. Scarecrows got way too wide, and Nick Favaro found Matt Graham right up the middle. Lockney able to hustle and join him, and Lucas Lockney has his 14th goal of the season. Well, the Prowlers get themselves on the board, now looking for more as the toss ahead to Anderson just bounced over his stick. Federley for Price. Wheeling ahead. Right wing Anderson back down to Price. Couldn't dance around Blaisdell. Lind puts it right back where it came from. Anderson down to Price. Anderson again, looking in front. Has to fight off Clark. Anderson gets to it. Loose puck, Anderson stop, rebound, another great save from Sammy Bernard, denying Blake Anderson twice on the doorstep. Lockhart wheels ahead. Drops it off for DeCumbus. Try to get it on goal, second chance also blocked. Out come the Scarecrows. Koash has help, but the Prowlers get back. Floated over to the near side. Connor Bazal scored the Prowlers' only goal last night. He's held up in the corner. Lockhart around the net, under a minute to go in period one. Jamie Bucell into the offensive zone. Bazal drops the shoulder. Has two Scarecrows on him. They finally drag him down. Able to move the puck though. Bavaro, wrister, may have caught the iron as it went up out of play. Well, coming up on the first intermission report right here on the PHP Network, we'll go around the Empire. We'll also take a look at some storylines from around the league, out-of-town scores, and much more. It's all coming up in the first intermission report right here on the PHP Network. Boy, Nick Favaro that close as he rang the crossbar. Prowlers get their signals crossed after the face-off win. They'll try and work it back up. Whalen with 20 to go in the period. Clapped around, Bird chips it off the boards, lands for Avery Smith. He was tied up by Favaro. Graham with 9. Lockney goes backwards with it. Lockney hands off for Favaro, and that will do it for the opening 20 minutes here in Port Huron. Scott Koash and Lucas Lockney have a goal apiece, and the Prowlers and Scarecrows are all knotted up heading into the locker room. Shots on goal in that opening period favored the Prowlers 14-9. Each team 0 for 2 on the man advantage in that opening 20. And now we will head down to ice level because our Brady Beaton has finally made it to McMorran, and he is alongside Lucas Lockney.
Down here on the ice with Lucas Lockney, you were able to tie it up at the end of the period. What did you see on that goal?
Pretty good regroup, and Grammar nice pass, so we just need to keep going like that.
What did you guys do well in that first period?
I think it was a little bit slower start for us after a road yesterday, but it was good. We just keep going and move our legs and keep it simple, just more shots, and hopefully we score more.
What do you need to do the next two periods, not just take a lead, but get the win?
Just keep shooting, keep going, driving the net, and keep it simple.
I appreciate it, Lucas. Thank you.
Thank you.
Will, back up to you.
And that was Lucas Lockney, the Prowlers goal scorer from period number 1. Stick around for the first intermission report right here on the PHP Network. We will go around the Empire, check out all the highlights from last weekend's games in the Empire Division, storylines from around the entire FPHL, and out-of-town scores and much more. It's all coming up right here on the PHP Network. Have you checked out the Prowlers team store yet? It is located on the southwest end of McMorran Arena. It's got hats, sweatshirts, jerseys, buttons, pucks, all kinds of cool merch. So be sure to get down there and check it out. If you want to see what they have right now at your fingertips, check out shop.phprowlers.com or scan the QR code on your screen. Shop.phprowlers.com. And if you're a fan of a team that's not named the Port Huron Prowlers, well, we have stuff for you too. FPHL pucks, shirts, and pint glasses, divisional pucks as well. So check it all out. Again, shop.phprowlers.com. We'll be right back with Around the Empire. It's next here on the PHP Network.
SMR Automotive Systems is part of the Motherson Group and a proud community sponsor of the Port Huron Prowlers. We are one of the largest manufacturers of rear-view mirrors for passenger vehicles in the world, with local plants in Port Huron and Marysville. We strive to support our local communities and have positions available for various abilities and experience. Find out more about who we are at smr-automotive.com.
What's more authentic than a Hungry Howie's Detroit-style pizza? Nothing. We're not playing around with the pizza of our birthplace. Thick crust, cheese to the edge, sauce on the top. Where it belongs. We've seen a lot of fakes out there. Not here. This is authentic Detroit-style pizza. Order yours now online for $12.99. We sauce the top and rep for the 313 everywhere. We do bold. Hungry Howie's.
Hockey is like a business. One missed pass can derail the perfect plan. Have Taft Consulting help you get your whole team on the same page. They have the expertise to help you follow through on all your goals. Find out how they can help you today by emailing taftconsulting@outlook.com.
Hey, Spike, my hip meds are costing a fortune. My humans are stressed, and they're pretending it's fine.
You're not alone, Max. My humans are cutting back on my flea and tick meds.
Ugh, tell me about it. My thyroid pills were draining the kibble fund until we found Global Pharmacy Plus.
Online stores? Are they actually cheaper?
Way cheaper. They save my humans 40% or more compared to those other big online sites.
My humans can finally afford on premium treats again!
Congratulations on your engagement again, man. You know, you should get some life insurance.
I never really thought about that. How would I do that?
We can help you with that at Zach Egan State Farm. Congratulations on getting married, man. Have you gotten a house?
We just got one, actually, yeah.
Well, if you want, we can help you out with life insurance at Zach Egan State Farm to cover your mortgage. Is Olin a year old now?
He is.
Wow. Have you guys got life insurance set up on him yet?
I haven't even thought about it yet.
Oh.
How would I go about that?
Well, we can help you with that at Zach Egan State Farm.
High five?
Yeah, and we should have gotten life insurance years ago.
Hey, Ken. We've actually got a policy for people your age at Zach Egan State Farm. Give us a call.
Explore the 140 miles of stunning shoreline along Lake Huron. That is Michigan's Thumb Coast. Discover charming coastal towns, serene beaches, and endless outdoor adventures. Stay at cozy hotels, paddle through pristine blue waters, and hit the fairways along breathtaking views. Plan your perfect getaway at bluewater.org.
Little guys are on the ice here at McMorran Place. Prowlers and Scarecrows tied up at a goal apiece through 20 minutes of play. Both the Prowlers and Scarecrows had 3 games last weekend. We'll take a look back at those highlights as well as the highlights from all the teams in the Empire Division on this week's edition of Around the Empire. Let's begin with big points on the board for the Bobcats as they hosted Biloxi. They weren't messing around on Friday. Under 7 minutes in, it's already 2-0. Nick Stuckless makes it 3-0. The Bobcats' second goal in 36 seconds. And that was the end of Anton Borodkin's night between the pipes for the Breakers. Wouldn't get any better for them, though. It's 4-0 still in the first. Nikita Kazirev tucks home a loose puck in the blue paint. He finished the game with a hat trick. Bobcats scored 6 times in the opening 20 and put it on cruise control the rest of the way in an 8-4 win in Matt Tione's first pro start. More domination the next night, second period, 2-1 Blue Ridge. How about Stuckless on the second straight night, finishing off the nice odd man rush. 13 seconds later, Demid Podrizov with his second of the night. Bobcats scored 6 unanswered for the second straight game. And in the final minutes, we got a goalie fight between Greg Hussey and Rahul Sharma. Nothing better to get the fans going than the netminders dropping the mitts. Blue Ridge got the sweep with its offense clicking at a high level. Look at those guys go. Great fight there. We had lots of dance partners swapping in the Northeast, starting with the Prowlers in Binghamton. Second period, still scoreless. Puck comes over to Scott Ramakers. He's able to walk in and finally break the ice. Minute 43 later, Prowlers can't get the puck out, and Garrett Sargis makes them pay. And that was all the offense the Black Bears needed, as Dominic Tomei did the rest, picking up his league-leading 5th shutout of the season. Black Bears clinched the Empire Division title for the 3rd straight year. Also on Friday, the Hat Tricks were in Watertown visiting the Wolves. Early in the second, it's 1-0 Watertown, and Konstantin Chernyak's centering feed tipped home by Gennaro Franduto power play goal for the Hat Tricks. Later, Danbury back on the power play. Caden Kandurka puts them in front. And then in the final seconds of the period, Adrian Chance on the second chance opportunity. His first goal as a hat trick. That big second period helped Danbury pull out a big road win. And after their victories, the Black Bears and Hat Tricks both headed down to Danbury for a Saturday showdown. Second period, 1-0 Binghamton. Austin Durazio's shot tipped home by Ivan Bondarenko. Second of the game for Bondarenko. Less than 2 minutes later, Cam Cervoni puts the puck in front, and Zach Sirota tips it by. And the Black Bears did fine offensively in that game, but the story of the night, Brandon Shantz, who got the shutout in his first pro start. Black Bears blank both of their opponents on the weekend. Meanwhile, the Prowlers took their loss and traveled north to Watertown. Playing the second 3-1 Port Huron. Tim Morgan and Blake Anderson on the give and go. Anderson able to tuck it home. That was the end of the night for Grant Linville in between the pipes for the Wolves. But they're on the comeback trail. Late in the third, it's 4-2 now. Igor Filipov wastes no time with a power play opportunity. And then the final seconds of regulation, Filipov ties it up. Prowlers failed to score on 2 overtime power plays, and it headed to a shootout. Brett Lockhart got the scoring start in the top of the first. Filipov answered in that same first round. Luke James scored in round 2, and Port Huron had a chance to go 3 for 3 and get the win. Federley to send the Prowlers to the playoffs. He scores! And that locks up a playoff spot for the Port Huron Prowlers. The Prowlers captain ended the skills competition and clinched his team a spot in the 2026 Commissioner's Cup playoffs. The teams met again on Sunday afternoon, seconds into the third. It's 2-1 Port Huron. Bobby Price with his second goal of the game. Skip to the final minute. Prowlers would just continue to pile up the goals in the third. They're running away with it. And Alex Ray tucks home Port Huron's sixth of the night. They finished with 7. And Blake Anderson came a point shy of tying the Prowlers franchise record after he had 6 points. Prowlers roll and sweep the Wolves. Wrapping things up with the Scarecrows visiting Indiana for a 3-game set. First period on Friday, less than a minute after Indiana tied it. Here's Stephen Klink tucking it home on the backhand, or a breakaway goal. Scarecrows back in front, second period, same score. Doug Blaisdell's shot tipped home by Trevor Graspy, and it's 3-1 Topeka. Still a 2-goal game in the third. Turnover, Brendan Bauer able to fire it home, but the Sentinels couldn't find the equalizer, and Topeka hung on for the win. It was 1-1 heading into the third the next night. Cole Ouellette fires home his first goal as a Sentinel and puts them in front. Less than 90 seconds later, Dalton Anderson shovels the puck home. And then a few minutes after that, Anderson able to fire home the loose puck. The fast start to the third period propelled Indiana to a Saturday night victory. And that set up the rubber match on Sunday. Early in the second, it's 1-0. Cooper Olsen making his first pro start. Stay in the net. He turns it over behind the cage, and Jacob Gagnon is able to take advantage and make it 2-0. Late in the period, still 2-goal lead. Trevor Graspy able to get the last touch on this puck, his second of the game. 3-point nights for both of those guys. Gagnon and Graspy helped Topeka take 2 of 3 on the road. And that win for the Scarecrows moved them past the Bobcats back into third and officially eliminated the Wolves before they even hit the ice on Sunday. Topeka has the advantage over Blue Ridge with a game in hand and control of the Wins tiebreaker. Hat tricks are still alive, but they need a lot of help. They're even going to sniff a playoff spot. Prowlers are trying to march closer to securing home ice advantage in the first round of the playoffs, and second period action between them and the Scarecrows is coming up on the PHP Network.
Welcome to the new era of Prowlers hockey. New owner, new store, new horn, fire, projectors on the ice. Yeah, this isn't your dad's McMorrin experience. This is Prowlers hockey. Get your tickets for the show now at phprowlers.com/tickets.
Keep up with your Prowlers all season long on social media. Follow us on Facebook at the Port Huron Prowlers, Instagram at PH Prowlers, and Twitter at PH Prowlers. And you can find more information on our website, phprowlers.com.
Prowlers hockey is presented by Prowlers. Shot. Back here at McMorrin Place, Prowlers and the Scarecrows tied up at a goal apiece. Will Wiggleman here with you on the PHP Network. Thanks so much for joining us on this Friday night. And before we get back to this one, let's take a look at what's going on around the league. We start with our FPHL storylines, presented by Thumb Rust Control. There's a few things going on since yesterday. The Athens Rock Lobsters got an ECHL call-up. William Lavaliere heading to the Worcester Railers, as the Railers had actually just released AJ Schlepp back to the Biloxi Breakers, but Lavaliere getting called up to the Railers as they need another body in between the pipes. So the Lobsters goaltender heading up to the ECHL. Jake Schultz is back with the Watertown Wolves. He hasn't played since January the 17th for Watertown. In fact, all the games he's played this season for the Wolves have come against the Binghamton Black Bears, which is one of his former teams. 3 points in 8 games and 40 penalty minutes for Schultz so far this season, who again spent last season as a linesman in the FPHL, came out of retirement this year. The Danbury Hat Tricks made a couple of collegiate signings out of Southern New Hampshire University as they get Kurt Watson and Brendan Lynch. Watson, a forward from London, Ontario, comes in after 10 goals and 13 points in 24 games as a senior for Southern New Hampshire. And then Lynch had 23 points in 27 games. Another Ontario native as well. So the Hat Tricks still technically in playoff contention, but they are very far out, and they do need the Prowlers to win both the games this weekend. They'll also need some help from the Baton Rouge Zydeco, try and hedge their bets and see if they can get either the Scarecrows or the Bobcats to fall off hard in these last few weeks of the regular season. And if they have any opportunity to get back in the playoff picture, they will need the Prowlers and the Zydeco to help them out this weekend. Those are your Thumb Rust Control LLC FPHL storylines. Now let's take a look at what's going on around the league. Plenty of action going on this evening. I believe every other game has already gotten underway as we look at our Love After Hours out-of-town scoreboard. Now we start with the Monroe Moccasins. They're visiting the PD Ice Cats. Still in period number 1. Chris Branch for Monroe, Parker Rutherford for PD. They are in between the pipes, and they have done their jobs so far. It's scoreless in Florence. Demid Padrazov has the only goal so far in Blue Ridge as the Bobcats lead the Zydeco 1-0 late stages of period 1. Binghamton Black Bears took the place of the Port Huron Prowlers in Indiana for the rest of this weekend. CJ Stubbs scored 29 seconds into the opening frame. Black Bears with the 1-0 lead, still in the late stages of the first. Hat Tricks are up 2-0 about midway through the first period in Watertown. They won in that building 4-2 a week ago, as you just saw the highlights on Around the Empire. Joe Santoro and Jordan Crom have the goals for the Hat Tricks. Again, they need wins and then they need help to make the Commissioner's Cup playoffs, but it's more than likely that Danbury will miss the playoffs, which is a rare sight for the FPHL. You have Watertown, Danbury, and the team in Winston-Salem, formerly known as Carolina, now known as Twin City, all possibly and likely missing the playoffs. Watertown has already been eliminated, so that's very rare for the FPHL. Shows a bit of a changing of the guard. You got the newer teams, the Ice Cats, the Moccasins, the Scarecrows, all in playoff positioning, and the Port Huron Prowlers, really the last of the old guard, especially if you go all the way back to the second Danbury franchise before the Hat Tricks, the Titans. Prowlers were around for the Danbury Titans, but you know, you think all the way back then, you had Watertown, you had Port Huron, you had Danbury, you had some other teams that are no longer in existence back when they were the Titans, and now just the Prowlers seem to be the only ones who are going to compete for a Commissioner's Cup this year. Speaking of the Thunderbirds, Nate Keeley, 2:31 into period 1, has the only goal in Winston-Salem. Birds leading the Biloxi Breakers 1-0. Topeka, or Twin City, pardon me, is technically not eliminated yet from the Commissioner's Cup playoffs, although it is getting pretty close. Of course, here it is 1-1 between the Scarecrows and the Prowlers. The out-of-town scoreboard is presented by Love After Hours Boutique and Boudoir. Use code Prowlers15. Or use code Prowlers for 15% off at Love After Hours. Turning our attention back to this game as we look at our Gunther Graphics game stats. Prowlers and Scarecrows each with 2 power plays in that opening period. Some ticky-tacky calls there, a couple of holding penalties against the Scarecrows, and a slashing and a hooking against the Prowlers. And again, these are, I was just talking with John Clement, the Scarecrows broadcaster. These are 2 teams that are going to the Commissioner's Cup playoffs. So you'll kind of expect when the playoffs do roll around that maybe we'll get a little bit more freedom. Not saying that the referees will cease calling penalties, but they do play it and let the guys play a little bit more in the playoffs than in the regular season. But here we are right now, and again, 2 penalties a side, and the Scarecrows have a 5-on-3 power play goal courtesy of Scott Kowash. Prowlers won the shots battle 14-9. Teams will be stepping back out onto the ice shortly. We will take another timeout, and when we come back, period number 2 will begin here on the PHP Network.
Welcome to the new era of Prowlers hockey. New owner, new store, new horn, fire, projectors on the ice. Yeah, this isn't your dad's McMorrin experience. This is Prowlers hockey. Get your tickets for the show now at phprowlers.com/tickets.
Keep up with your Prowlers all season long on social media. Follow us on Facebook at the Port Huron Prowlers, Instagram at PH Prowlers, and Twitter at PH Prowlers. And you can find more information on our website, phprowlers.com.
On Prowlers hockey, it's presented by Official shot. Back here on Scout Night at McMorrin Place. Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts. Boy Scouts are selling their popcorn. Girl Scouts selling their Girl Scout cookies. I picked up myself a box of Thin Mints just a little while ago while Around the Empire was playing. You can ask the broadcast staff up here that I did get my Thin Mints from the table down by the entrance. I made sure to pick up there we are. Here we go, got my Thin Mints. These are going in the freezer when I get home, as long as there's some left when I get home. But yes, Thin Mints, get your Girl Scout cookies. Now, hopefully, you find some Girl Scouts at your local stores or wherever they might be set up. But again, set up here at McMorrin tonight, and we got the goods here tonight on Scout Night. Scarecrows are taking the ice, led out again by Sammy Bernard, as he stopped 13 of 14 Prowler shots in that opening 20 minutes. Prowlers will be following the Scarecrows out in just a moment, as they are led out by Bailey Huber, who stopped 8 of 9 Scarecrow shots in the first period. Huber, a couple of big glove saves in that opening frame, including on a breakaway against Stephen Klink, kept the game scoreless at that point. And you see Huber getting set in the goal crease down to our left. Trying to pick up another victory here, as he has 9 on the season so far. And now that he has participated in 15 games, this was clinched on Sunday against the Watertown Wolves. He has reached the criteria that I made up to be part of the individual season and career goaltending records for the Prowlers. So Huber right now is 4th in Prowlers history with a .277 goals against average. That's the 4th best in a single season, and also 4th best for a Prowlers career goaltender. And obviously the Prowlers have been around for a while, and they were around back when the FPHL was a high-scoring run-and-gun kind of league. A lot different now, and Port Huron on the cutting edge of, well, playing defense, I guess, in the FPHL. And That's been a big key to their success. Prowlers giving up the second fewest goals against in the FPHL, 2.67 per game. Only the Binghamton Black Bears have given up fewer this season. Jacob Gagnon floated it right in on Huber, and he grabs it with the glove and hangs on. We got a face-off down in Huber's end as he gets the first save of period number 2, the Hungry Howie's second period here on the PHP Network. Clark and Anderson in on this face-off. Parsons wraps it around the boards. Price pops it off the wall, and Blake Anderson tries to skate ahead. He's closed off by Cam Clark. Parsons dumped in off the near side corner boards. LaBelle bounces it ahead, and Klink looking for an option. He just dumps it around. Parsons the first one on it, kept it moving up the wall. Steer put it back down deep. Ends up on the near side. Klink retrieves there, popped it off the boards. Parsons poked it away from Clark. Behind the net, Tecumseh up to Price, has Anderson breaking. Price knocked down by Klink. And LaBelle fires a rink-wide feed to Scott Koash, who couldn't bring it in. Anderson slows up as he hits the blue line, dumps the puck around, and LaBelle leaves it behind the net for Steer. Actually, it's Clark who picks it up instead. He goes off the window. Millette to Lockhart. Off to Gagnon. Lead pass kicked in by Millette. LaBelle all the way around the boards. Lockhart at the red line for Ray. Over to Millette. Walks the blue line. Millette in the middle. His shot didn't get all the way through. Hit LaBelle. Lockhart coming back forward in his own end. Gagnon quick up to Millette. Has Bucell breaking. Play is on sides here as Steer tried to make a pass that completely missed his intended target. Gagnon in his third game as a Prowler, collegiate signing out of SUNY Fredonia, had that pass end up behind Topeka's net, but no icing. Lord, chased by Lockney, drops it off. Avery Smith steps around Hakala. He's surrounded. Smith elects to go off to the bench after dumping the puck deep. Favaro for Lockney, streaking in on his backhand. Lockney spins back. Now Graham on the puck, back towards Lockney. And instead it's Lord, bouncing it off the wall and out. Favaro up to Hakala. Popped up in the air, glove down by Gagnon. Around to Nagy, chased by Graham. Lead pass, Lord ran into Brian Parsons at the blue line. Hakala back for Parsons. Oregon all the way up to Tecumseh. Now Price wheels in. Couldn't dangle around Grasby, who got his stick down on the ice. Anderson off the turnover. Looking, shooting, stopped by Bernard. And it's played off to the near side boards. Gagnon couldn't bring it in. Price, stick handles, had it knocked away. Parsons sidestepped most of a check from Grasby and handed the puck off to Anderson. Anderson right up the gut, couldn't break through. All four Scarecrows who were back. Loose puck grabbed by who else? Blake Anderson. He's wheeling around. Long range shot glove down by Sammy Bernard. Just under 4 minutes gone in period number 2. And that line of Price, Tecumseh, and Anderson has looked ever dangerous in this game so far. You know, when that trio gets going, they're hunting pucks. They're hard on the forecheck. And they can cause a lot of disruption. Here's Reggie Millette. Gagnon for Lockhart. Long lead pass tipped in. Blaisdell gets to it behind his net. He's stapled by Bucell. for Bizol. Gagnon fanned on a shot, and back the other way come the Scarecrows. Clark in front looking for Clink. He was tied up just enough by Millette on the back check. Huber may have disrupted the pass as well. Bucell behind the net to Gagnon. Floated ahead. Bizol gets the red line. Tried to toss it deep. Steer pushed it right up. And Hakela trying to get in between a couple of Scarecrows. Organ. Graham tapped it ahead. Graham trying to get it back from Koash. Now Lockney works in. All the way around. Lockney in front. Came all the way through to Graham. Couldn't get a good stick on it as he was tied up. Tipped along by Clink, but into the Prowler bench, out of play. May have hit Prowler's trainer Ken Falke up high. Hopefully Ken's all right down there. They'll check on him. We'll step aside here on the PHP Network. Back here in Port Huron, got to get that glass clean behind the net. Make sure the goal judge can see when the puck enters the cage. Just over 5 minutes gone in period 2. It's been a goal on either side. There you see Prowlers trainer Ken Falke with a towel on his head. Took that puck to the side of the head just before the TV timeout. Took it like a champ as well. Tough guy down there, Ken. Josh LaBelle. All the way ahead. Bird able to dump the puck in deep. Millette for Oregon. Now Ray. Gets the red line, tosses it in on Bernard. He gathers back in and hangs on. Faceoff coming to Bernard's right. Jamie Bucell heads back to the bench. He was on our most recent edition of the Coaches Show. Jamie Bucell. Prowlers Coaches Show held every other Wednesday down at Wings Etc. Puck down, Graham gonna poke it back to the point. R2 Hakela gets it deep. This line reunited Graham, Lockney, and Hakela. They were together a lot earlier in the year. Graham, of course, missed the game last night. Able to go again here tonight. As Lockney floats it across to Lockhart. Lockney from Graham is the only goal so far for the Prowlers. Nick Favaro got the other assist on that one. As the Scarecrows look for a home run pass that ends up on Parsons' stick. Lockhart back to Brian Parsons. Lockhart, who played in his 100th career FPHL game last night, sends a headman feed that's tipped in by DeCumbus. Whalen around the wall. Price cuts it off. Anderson looking towards the net, try to slide it down to Price. Gets back to it. Price trying to wrap. He's taken down, and a penalty coming against Connor Nagy. Tripping called against Nagy The Prowlers will go to their third power play of the game. And watch Price wheel around the net. Nagy just got his stick in Price's skates. Referees tonight, Jonathan Paradise and Logan Wedekamp. The linesmen, Jeremy McWalter and Brandon Badens. There's Mike Young writing things down as the penalty box attendant. Always a familiar face there in the road penalty box. Also a familiar face at Prowlers practice sometimes. Loose puck, rolling to the far corner. Millette gets there ahead of Clark. Clark ends up with it, and he clears it just as far as Federley, but the puck did hop over the blue line. Prowlers regroup. Oregon starts from scratch. Federley to Lockney, tried to go over to Millette, that didn't work. Now Graham almost lost the handle. Prowlers have to start to move north. 35 seconds gone on their power play. Millette tried to go to Lockney. That was interrupted by Grasby. Millette wires it around. Lind back behind the net. Millette cut it off. Lind, now Blaisdell just able to smack at it, and he clears. Prowlers will switch up the unit, try and find something here. Halfway through their man advantage. Price for Anderson. Able to wheel in. Blake Anderson sends the puck down and around. Whalen over to LaBelle. Fired it around, came back to him. And I think he hit Artu Hakala. And LaBelle able to clear with nobody else knowing where the puck was. Anderson. Hakala into the offensive zone. Drops it off for Bucell. Up high. Price, Bavaro straight away. Saucer pass. Anderson lets it go. Save, rebound, another from Sammy Bernard. As he got the pads down, that puck went up out of play. They didn't blow it dead. So the Prowlers' pressure continues. Hit the protective netting and landed back on the ice. Bavaro for Anderson. His pass intercepted, and he takes it back away as Coash tried to spring Klink. Sent all the way across, back to 5-on-5. Hakala to Anderson. Behind the net, centering feed, score! Jamie Bucell right in front. Gives the Prowlers their first lead of the night. Great pass from Anderson in front. Jamie Bucell able to find a soft spot. And the Prowlers take a 2-1 lead just after the power play expired. The Scarecrows playing from behind for the first time in this game. Try to move it ahead. It's batted back to Blaisdell. Lockhart for Gagnon. Back to Lockhart. Fires it ahead. Here comes Alex Ray straight on. Had it knocked off his stick. Gagnon tosses it in. Garrison Gagnon getting away from Jacob Gagnon. And Gagnon got a stick up high. That's Gagnon on Gagnon crime as Jacob Gagnon is going to the penalty box. Looking for a pregame meals, Zip Sauce Burgers located in the Industrial Park Marathon. Zip Sauce, the official burger of the Port Huron Prowlers. Gagnon has found blood, but too late to get the double minor, and Gagnon is sitting in the penalty box. Little gags on gags crime there. And you see Garrison Gagnon getting checked out from Prowlers trainer Bridget Smith. Gagnon, of course, spent the last 4 years wearing a full cage. This was no kind of concern for him. when he was playing at SUNY Fredonia. They've now put up 4 minutes, so now it is a double minor. Originally, it looked like they weren't going to get the extra 2, but indeed they do. So this will be the 4th and 5th power plays of the game for the Prowlers, and a big opportunity to extend the lead. See Robbie Nichols over on the Scarecrows bench, making sure his guys are out there. Blake Anderson and Artu Hakala picked up the assists on the goal by Jamie Bussell. We talked about Hakala in the pregame show. In the 3-game set between these teams a month ago in Topeka, Hakala dished out 4 helpers and was a +2, playing on a line with primarily with Luke James and Alex Ray. And that line provided all the regulation offense in the series opener against the Scarecrows that week. Prowlers eventually won that one 3-2 in a shootout. And Hakala 2 assists in that one. Anderson taken off his stick. LaBelle moves it around this way, but Price gets there first. Right down the wall. Bussell battling. LaBelle. Grasby in there. Bussell down low towards Hakala. LaBelle trying to pick Bussell's pocket. Grasby turns and fires it all the way down. 1 minute almost gone on the 4-minute double minor to Jacob Gagnon. Federley gets back in, tried to dangle around. The clearing attempt was blocked, and Millette able to get the puck down deep. Federley now sets up. Millette across to Organ. Back to Millette. Federley looks down low. Lockney. Side of the net. Now behind. Federley 2.5 to go on the 5-on-4 double minor. Federley down to Lockney. Between his legs. In too tight on Bernard. Rebound available. And Federley goes back up top. Millette. Organ. Down to Graham. Taps it back. Millette with 10 seconds left in the first penalty. Organ tried to slide it back to him. Millette just claps it through. Deflected and stopped. Lockney behind the cage. Over to Graham. Now Federley lets it go. Rising shot caught the glass. Kept in by Organ. First penalty is over. They're on to the second. Federley. Organ. Millette. Now Federley. Walks in, down to Lockney. Federley again. Ripped it, it was blocked. Millette trying to play it back down the boards. Taken by Blaisdell, hit his own man Clark. Grasby, first one on it. Able to clear all the way down. Now Clark working short-handed deep in the Prowlers' end. They take it from him quickly. Organ, long lead pass, has Bussell at the blue line, takes the shot, and Bernard got a piece. Bussell stole it. Up high to Hakala. Prowlers set back up. Millette's the lone holdover from the first power play unit. Whips it over to the near side corner for Blake Anderson to gather. Anderson trying to slide it back down. Got it to Hakala behind the net. Artu Hakala looking in front. Off to the wall to Price. 48 seconds left in the Prowlers power play. Price, Favaro, try to chip it towards Anderson. That was picked off by Klink. Klink with a shot swallowed up by Bailey Huber. 36 seconds left on the Prowlers power play. We'll have it for you on the other side here on the PHP Network.
Hockey is like a business. One missed pass can derail the perfect plan. Have Taft Consulting help you get your whole team on the same page. They have the expertise to help you follow through on all your goals. Find out how they can help you today by emailing taftconsulting@outlook.com.
Explore 140 miles of stunning shoreline along Lake Huron in Michigan's Thumb Coast. Begin your adventure on a blanket of golden sand at one of our serene beaches. Connect with the historic atmosphere of our region's nautical influence and reconnect with friends under a blanket of stars. Plan your perfect getaway at bluewater.org.
Back here on the PHP Network, just over 7 minutes to go in the second period. 2-1 Prowlers lead. The merch store has gotten a few new items, and I think you're going to like both. First, I know you all like the divisional pucks. Here is a full-fed logo puck for the 25-26 season. Now, that's for the collectors. Now, for something to wear, and I've been around the Prowlers a while, I think it's safe to say one of the best pieces of merch we've had. The Prowler players were buying this within a half hour of us having this hat in, and I would quote one of them, absolutely nasty, and I have to agree. Make sure to get these at the Prowler store before they run out and we have to restock. Will, back to you.
Thank you, Brady. I was worried the Prowlers were going to buy them out before we even got to this game, but there still are a few available. Might be able to find some online. Here's Anderson with a rising shot. Goes off the glass. Caroms all the way out to the neutral zone. Shop.phprowlers.com if you're looking for either of those items. Here's Price. Slams on the brakes. Cycles it down deep. Back pass in front didn't work cleanly, and it's sent out just as the penalty expires. Anderson back in. To the net, sticked away by Bernard. Gagnon pitchforks it up the boards and all the way down, no icing. Prowlers got 2 shots on net during that 4-minute power play. Topeka got 3. Wheeling in. Garrison Gagnon off the back wall, gets it again, and Bernard made the save. Lockney, Graham, one-timer stopped. Rebound, Checo, able to slide it over. Lead pass, Bazal finishes his check on Bird. Checo, spinning, put it up top. D-to-D pass, LaBelle walks in, picks his spot, save, Huber! Brett Lockhart now, up the boards. Checo spinning, and Lockhart picks it off. Graham just bats it into Topeka's end. Checo now, all the way up through Bird and Organ, no icing. Favaro up the boards to Price. Price fires the puck all the way around. Took a funny hop off the stanchion. They clear it up to Smith. Has help coming. Avery Smith to the middle. Graspy couldn't get it up to his stick. DeCumbis pulls it out of the scrum. Now Anderson, 1-on-2, has help coming. Anderson stick handles. Slid it just past the side of the net. Nagy ahead towards Smith. Graspy lost it. DeCumbis towards Anderson. Wrist shot stopped by Bernard, and he's got the glove down to freeze play. 4:36 left to go in period number 2. We'll take another timeout. Prowlers looking to extend their lead, and Sammy Bernard coming up sharp.
SMR Automotive Systems is part of the Motherson Group and a proud community sponsor of the Port Huron Prowlers. We are one of the largest manufacturers of rearview mirrors for passenger vehicles in the world, with local plants in Port Huron and Marysville. We strive to support our local communities and have positions available for various abilities and experience. Find out more about who we are at smr-automotive.com.
What's more authentic than a Hungry Howie's Detroit-style pizza? Nothing. We're not playing around with the pizza of our birthplace. Thick crust, cheese to the edge, sauce on the top. Where it belongs. We've seen a lot of fakes out there. Not here. This is authentic Detroit-style pizza. Order yours now online for $12.99. We sauce the top and rep for the 313 everywhere. We do bold. Hungry Howie's.
Well, the Prowlers are on the ice, so grab a glass of Proper 12 Irish Whiskey. Proper 12, the official shot of the Port Huron Prowlers. Prowlers with a 2-1 lead on the Topeka Scarecrows. Prowlers spirit getting the fans into it. Jamie Bucell has the only goal of this middle frame. Prowlers up on shots in the middle 20, 10-4. Although they were not able to score on a 4-minute double minor. They are 0 for 5 on the man advantage. Fans of the show down in Section 9 tonight as it's tossed in on Huber. Center it back out in front. Klink couldn't handle it cleanly. Hakala slid it ahead to Graham. Has Lockney with him. Graham, stick handles, got a shot away. And Bernard able to scoop it up. He hangs on. Matt Graham is tied with Alex Johnson with most points on this Prowlers team with 43, but more importantly, he now has 44, and Matt Graham, with his assist earlier tonight, picked up his 500th point as a Port Huron Prowler, the first player in franchise history to reach that mark. So congratulations to Matt Graham. A huge achievement there for an all-time Prowler. Here's Klink, twisting and turning, at the puck taken by Ray. Millette moved it up to Federley. Indirect pass, too far in front of Millette. Klink tried to tap it in. Here's Klink working from the wall, and Huber got his stick on the pass. He was going backdoor for Clark. Federley around to Parsons. Digging with Koash. Parsons knocked down. Fans want a penalty they won't get. Clark around to Klink. Parsons takes Klink in. They continue to grind away in the corners. Scarecrows starting to get a change. Millette stops up. 3 Scarecrows around him. Reggie Millette just threw it to an area. And now a Scarecrow went down back in Prowler territory after Millette iced the puck. And Millette was in his space, but Klink wanted no part of Reggie Millette. So Millette will have to stick out there after the icing. The Prowlers deal with a defensive zone faceoff, and there you see Millette with a nice reverse hit on Stephen Klink. Good catch from our team here. Alex Ray stole the puck, tried to sprint ahead, poked away by LaBelle. Here comes big Josh LaBelle. Headed over towards Gagnon. That didn't work. Anderson waiting for it just off the bench. Blake Anderson tried to make a pass off to Gagnon. That was knocked away. Anderson drops it back. Gagnon. Lockhart. Up for Bobby Price. Right up the gut to the outside to Anderson. Back to Price. On his backhand. Just slid it wide. Back on net. And Bernard able to make the stop. Get a piece of Price's shot. Steer. Up the boards. Tossed high and out. Gagnon trying to stick it down. Lockhart the other way. Anderson sputted into the offensive zone. Collected by LaBelle. He's looking for a 2-line pass. He has Lord at the red line. Lord with a shot sticked out of play by Bailey Huber. And now we have some extracurriculars between Lord and Anderson. They're separated. Well, the face-off deep in Bailey Huber's end. Coming up in the second intermission report right here on the PHP Network, we'll have highlights and analysis around the first 40 minutes with myself and Brady Beaton. Get this week's edition of Keeley's Corner, the Outtown Scores, and much more. It's all coming up right here on the PHP Network. Lucas Lockney and Corey Checo in on this face-off. Oregon wheels the puck around the net. Now for Favaro. A head tipped in. Lind wrapped it up the near sideboards. Bird able to bounce it out towards Checo. Hakela put a shoulder into Corey Checo. And now Tim Organ slid it up to Graham as Smith finished his check on Organ. Well, has the puck again. Lockney for Hakela. Wheeling in, had his stick lifted. Lockney couldn't get that puck to a shooting position, and here comes Koash. Feathered it through behind Smith, too far in front of Checo. Tecumseh trying to wheel out, catches back up to the puck. He's 1-on-3, but here he comes. Tecumseh hooked, and that will be a penalty. Smith and Tecumseh have to be separated here. We'll see if that changes anything, but Vinny Tecumseh used his speed, and he drew a call. Although Tecumseh may have evened it up here. Watch the speed from Vinny Tecumseh stepping around Doug Blaisdell, and, well, I will say this for Blaisdell. Tecumseh did hold his stick, and indeed that seems to be the call. They're actually calling Tecumseh instead of Blaisdell. Tecumseh with a smile on his face in the penalty box. Couldn't get away with that one as he tried to draw the hooking penalty. Although now they're still talking to the scorer's table. They will not drop the puck yet, and Section 9 is getting into it. Now we're all set to go for the Scarecrows' third power play of this game. They are 1 for 2. Their one goal coming in 5-on-3. As Oregon claps the puck around, Gagnon just did keep it in at the line. Artu Hakela able to find it and clear all the way down. If the Scarecrows don't score, then this power play will leak into period 3 as Bernard had to glove the puck and then drop it on the other side of the net for LaBelle. Clark up to LaBelle. Pops it off the wall. Koash couldn't play it across. Now LaBelle off of Anderson. Favaro trying to get to it. He does. And he'll clear around the wall. 15 seconds left to go in the period. Prowlers rush one last change. LaBelle. Fanned on the first pass. Indirect feed. Clark had to wait for it. In comes LaBelle straight on. Shot blockered away by Huber. Clapped off the glass. And that will do it for period number 2. Jamie Bucell, the only goal scorer in the middle frame. And it is 2-1 in favor of the Prowlers. Shots on goal in that middle period favored the Prowlers 11-6. They're up 25-15 for the game. And Vinny Tecumseh will have to spend another minute 5 in the penalty box when we come back for period 3 for his diving call. As officially what they put it down as. But right now, we have Brady Beaton with Prowlers alternate captain and second period goal scorer, Jamie Bucell.
Down here on the ice with Jamie Bucell. Jamie, you had the go-ahead goal. Walk us through that quick shot from just in front of the net.
Yeah, we're on the power play, so, we're trying to possess the puck, get the looks that we want and stuff, and, fortunate enough we were able to battle, keep the puck down low, and, I saw Ando going behind the net, so I just found myself in an open spot right in front, and he was able to slide it through.
Felt like that second period had a little more energy and a little more intensity than the first. Has it felt like the game's been ramping up as it's gone along?
Yeah, definitely. I think we started out a little slow, not not to the standard that we normally do, so we had to find it for the second, and I think we did for the most part.
So going into the third, what is going to be the messaging to the guys to keep this up and get 3 points?
We gotta play a full 60 minutes here and stuff. So we got 20 left. We just gotta continue to keep playing Prowler hockey.
Well, Buck, I appreciate it. Good luck in the third.
Thank you.
Will, back up to you.
Thank you, Brady. Jamie Bussell with the deadlock breaker in period 2. We'll see if the Prowlers can hold on to this lead and get a big 3 points here at home. Well, we have a big intermission report coming up here on the PHP Network of highlights and analysis from myself and Brady Beaton, Keeley's Corner, the out-of-town scores, and much more. All of that is coming up right here on the PHP Network. Well, secure your seats for the Prowlers' next home game. That is tomorrow, March the 21st, 7:05 p.m. when the Prowlers take on these same Scarecrows. It is taking a shot at breast cancer night. Prowlers will be wearing specialty jerseys auctioned off after the game for breast cancer research. And another great year that the Prowlers combine with the Taking a Shot at Breast Cancer charity. There will be a live auction after the game. You do have to be here in the building to bid on one of those great jerseys. So to get your tickets now at phprowlers.com/tickets, by phone at 810-985-6166. Scan the QR code on your screen now. It's online, phprowlers.com/tickets, by phone at 810-985-6166, or scan that QR code on your screen now to be part of the Prowlers taking a shot at breast cancer night here in the 2025-26 season. We have a pickup truck going around the rink right now. I wish I had some Chuck-a-Pucks right now. I could probably use an upgrade in the car department. Not sure if that's what fans are winning, but that would be a pretty cool prize. We'll be right back here on the PHP Network.
Come on, guys, hop in. We're not getting in that thing. That thing's gross.
Yeah, I wore my nice pants today. This thing could use a detail.
Well, I don't know. Do you know anybody who could detail a boat? I think that guy could.
Hi, I'm Logan from Ballard's Detail. I can detail your boat. From oxidized and faded to smooth and glossy, our professional compounding and waxing process will get your boat looking new again. Contact us today at 810-956-8318. Visit us on Facebook at Ballard's Detail LLC.
SMR Automotive Systems is part of the Motherson Group and a proud community sponsor of the Port Huron Prowlers. We are one of the largest manufacturers of rearview mirrors for passenger vehicles in the world, with local plants in Port Huron and Marysville. We strive to support our local communities and have positions available for various abilities and experience. Find out more about who we are at smr-automotive.com.
Hello, I'm home.
There he is.
What is happening?
Relax. We won. They brought back the snack wrap. Spicy or ranch?
Spicy.
Yeah, go. Yeah. Just one little bite.
Can you stop?
Oh, sorry.
Gather your crew. Snack wrap is back.
This isn't working. LJ, pass me those flyers. No look behind the back pass. It's a whole play. LJ, come on. Gap up. Close the gap. Close the gap. What are we saying? This isn't working. We need a shift change. Let's bring in the professionals.
Head over to the Birchwood Mall for your shopping and entertainment needs. Hop on the carousel, shoot some hoops, or visit some of their great stores such as Gerlach's Woodworks, where they specialize in handcrafted wooden decorations. Add to your fan cave a Prowlers themed creation. Upgrade your bathroom at Luxury Bath Mobility Remodelers. They can fully customize your bath or shower to fit your needs, and they also do flooring. For the sports fan in your life, pick up a unique gift from Pro Edge Sports. Jam-packed with all kinds of memorabilia. There's something for everyone. And it's not a trip to the mall without Auntie Anne's pretzels. Grab a freshly made full-size cup of pretzel bites and wash it down with some frozen lemonade. At the Birchwood Mall, you can find this and more. Visit them on 24th Ave in Fort Gratiot.
Hey guys, what's going on?
Hi guys, we just stopped at Industrial Park Marathon to get some fuel and some snacks before the Prowlers game at McMorran.
Nice. Yeah, we just stopped by here at Industrial Park Marathon so I can get a Slurpee before the game.
Wait till after the game. If the Prowlers score 3 or more goals, Slurpees will be free.
Thanks for the info. I'm going to get my Slurpee after, but we'll see you at the Prowlers game.
See you at the game. Go Prowlers!
Yeah, I don't know about this one, fellas.
Boys, we don't overcome adversity by backing down. But yeah, I don't know about this one.
That's reassuring.
We're so screwed.
All right, boys. Here's a game plan. LJ, you start with bananas. B-Way.
Wait, why do I have to do the bananas?
Because you're the softest on the team.
I don't want the bananas.
This thing is gonna melt. We gotta hurry up.
I won't do it.
Okay, both of you. I will do the bananas and the whipped cream. Fets, please continue.
Who's paying for this anyway?
I am. I just bought my tickets for the Prowlers game this weekend, and the Milkhouse gave me 25% off my order.
Fets, why'd you buy the tickets? You're literally on the team.
For the discount.
So are you all ready to give it a try?
Oh, we're ready.
It's true. Get 25% off your entire order at the Milkhouse, October through April. Simply show your ticket stubs at checkout and enjoy your discounted treat.
Back here at McMorran Place, Prowlers with a 2-1 lead over the Topeka Scarecrows through 40 minutes of play. Will Wiggleman here alongside Brady Beaton up in the broadcast booth. Brady, welcome in. It's been a tightly contested game. It felt like the first period, a lot of ticky-tacky penalty calls, but the Scarecrows the only team able to take advantage on the power play.
Yeah, and you know, I'll be honest that you get the schedule that the Prowlers had where they go to Indiana. I mean, you guys got back, what, 5 a.m. this morning?
Roughly.
They're not going to make the excuse, but it's also just a fact, right, that when you get in, like, yes, you can sleep on the bus, you never sleep as well. It's not completely unexpected that you have a slow first period. The fact is they weathered the storm, and now they picked it up. You saw a marked improvement in the second period. They're out shooting Topeka by 10, and you know they've been outplaying them more than not through the first 40 minutes.
Well, let's take a look back at that goal for the Scarecrows, the first one of the game, and it came on a 5-on-3 as Jordan Gagnon was able to slide the puck all the way through. See Bailey Huber kind of sell out for the shot, and it got all the way through a few different bodies. And that's how Topeka got on the board first.
I mean, anytime you put yourself in a 5-on-3, it's gonna be a tough spot. I know they had luck against Watertown and against Indiana, but they really weren't able to they were able to kill off those power plays where, you know, you're going to keep playing with fire. Eventually you're going to get burned, and they did to give up the first goal.
And again, that was a 5-on-3 goal. 5-on-4 PK has been good tonight. The Prowlers were able to tie it, and unfortunately we didn't get a good shot of it wide, but because there was a lot going on by the Topeka blue line as Nick Favaro made this pass. But the Prowlers were going D to D, and then Favaro just tossed it ahead to Matt Graham, who was all alone right down the middle. The Prowlers were able to spread out the Topeka defenders along the blue line. Watch Graham cut into the middle. Nobody's near him, and he was able to give it off to Lucas Lockney. And for Matt Graham, that's his 500th point as a Prowler, not in the FPHL, as a Prowler. He has 575 in the FPHL, but what an impressive milestone to hit, and classic Matt Graham passing on a breakaway.
Well, yeah, and the other thing is the reason why he has 500 Prowler points is because he works smarter. You saw him, he's hanging by the boards. He's not making it obvious he's by himself, and he cuts in at the last moment, and that, I think, is a perfect clip of working smarter, not working harder, where he took a good path, he kind of stayed innocuous, you saw the chemistry, and that's what you get with a team that doesn't have a lot of roster turnover. Makes the pass, and then, I mean, puts it right on the doorstep for Lock.
And the Prowlers are obviously a team that works on their systems a lot. We hear it a lot from Coach Paul, and we hear it a lot from the players in interviews with you, with me, throughout this season. They talk about all the things that they're working on. Obviously, they don't tell us what they're working on, but they tell us they have a lot strategically that goes on in that locker room.
A few times.
You have gotten close. I think he might be upset with you. We'll see how he acts with you during this post-game interview later tonight. But the Prowlers are a very strategic team. They put a lot into coaching and the mind part of the game to try and gain that edge, because when you're going against a Binghamton Black Bears team that has all the talent that money can buy, you're not going to outskill them. You have to outsmart them, and that's what the Prowlers are trying to do.
Yeah, you have to find every edge you can, and I think a big emphasis going down the stretch is, hey, when you play Indiana, sometimes you can get away with being a little lazy or not being perfect, but you have to start building those habits that are going to win you postseason games, because, Will, you've been around this long enough, especially in a 3-game series. One weird bounce, one missed pass can be the difference between winning or losing a game, which in a 3-game series is so big. So this is the part where, yes, I know the second seed isn't 100% clinched, but the Prowlers are the heavy favorites to end up as the 2 seed. There's not a ton to play for, but it's getting those habits ready, having that championship mentality coming down the home stretch, getting ready for a postseason.
This is a potential first-round matchup. But you talk about the bad bounces, and I remember Game 1 against Danbury last year. Prowlers had scored 3 unanswered. They took a 3-2 lead. Braden Simmons-Fisher sent the puck all the way down from his own end. Connor McCullum came out to play it, hopped over his stick. Jamie Bucell centered for Lucas Lockney, and that made it 4-2 as Lockney put it in the vacated cage. So, and that really helped turn the tide in that series as the Prowlers took the momentum they had at that point and really just pushed it down on the hat tricks. But Port Huron did get another one on the board in the second period. They took the lead, and a great play here from Blake Anderson, great vision, and Jamie Bucell finding that soft spot in the defense. He's surrounded by 4 Scarecrows, and none of them are looking at him. And he's able to just kind of find that soft area for Anderson to slide it out to him. Now let's see if we can get the wide shot of this in just a moment.
Well, yeah, and again, it's working smarter. It's just coming to the front of the net where you have where you have a little bit of space. It's very Matt Graham-esque of Jamie Bucell coming to that spot, as you'll see here.
So let's find Bucell. They stop it here. Bucell's over here. He's going to work himself into this slot. See, all the Scarecrows are going to come back here.
Real quick, Will, I want to show you, if you stop it right here, look at their eyes. He's looking at the puck, he's looking at the puck, he's looking at the puck, he's looking at the puck. No one is looking at Jamie coming to the middle.
So watch Bucell, watch the path he takes, kind of just sits himself
and every Scarecrow's just looking at the puck right now.
And you can see it even more egregiously that puck watching when Anderson wheels behind the net. You can see all 4 of the Scarecrows that were down low looking down at that puck, and nobody looking back for Jamie Bucell. And great work from our crew there. We were able to get that telestrator working tonight and pay the telestrator bill.
Yeah, absolutely. But it's, again, those little things, and we always talk about for young players watching at home, that's something where, hey, you get caught looking at the puck, and in real time, that's probably, only 2 or 3 seconds of looking at the puck. But you think, okay, how can a guy just walk to the front of the crease with no one paying attention to him? Because they're all more worried about the puck than maybe their assignment, and that is working smarter. Hey, Jamie Bucell didn't deke around 2 guys. He went to the front of the net, and his teammate just slid it out to him. He picked the corner. That's a good spot you want to be in.
They always say head on a swivel, and that's why. But how about a moment for the goaltenders? Both Sammy Bernard and Bailey Huber have been busy in this game. This one is of Huber's own doing, and he's able to bail himself out with a right pad stop on Cam Clark, short-handed. But he had to make some big saves throughout this game, as has Sammy Bernard. And there's a backdoor stop for Bernard. And here's Huber's, arguably his biggest save of the game. It was scoreless at this point. Stephen Klink, the most dangerous Scarecrow, working in on him on a breakaway, and Huber got it with the glove. And Bernard, a couple of saves here on Blake Anderson. That second one may have hit the post or off of Bernard's glove, not sure. But again, the goaltenders have had a strong night so far this evening.
Yeah, and Blake Anderson, he probably thought, his eyes had to have light up on that one. Thought he was going to score. Dad in the house came and said hi to me. I mean, all the way from Alberta. Well, that's a long ways to come from. And he probably thought he was going to score one for his pops, and Sammy Bernard just got that pad out.
Well, he did get 6 points for his pops last Sunday in Watertown. Not sure if you can get much better than that.
It's a what have
the
you done
family
for you
in
lately
town
kind of business.
Exactly. Got to do it in front of the home fans, right? Well, Prowlers will take this 2-1 lead into the third period. When we come back, we'll have Keeley's Corner, out-of-town scores, and much more. It's all coming up on the PHP Network.
Welcome to the new era of Prowlers hockey. New owner, new store, new horn, fire, projectors on the ice. Yeah, this isn't your dad's McMorrin experience. This is Prowlers hockey. Get your tickets for the show now at phprowlers.com/tickets.
Keep up with your Prowlers all season long on social media. Follow us on Facebook at the Port Huron Prowlers, Instagram at PH Prowlers, and Twitter at PH Prowlers. And you can find more information on our website, phprowlers.com.
On Prowlers hockey. Shot. Welcome back here to Port Huron. The Prowlers with a 2-1 lead over the Topeka Scarecrows. Take a look at what's coming up next for the Prowlers. Our upcoming schedule is also Keeley's Corner, presented by Full Metal Mel, as the Prowlers are starting a 4-game homestand here. With these two against the Scarecrows tomorrow night, we'll be taking a shot at breast cancer night. So that one always a very exciting game, as the Prowlers and Scarecrows will battle. And of course, specialty jerseys coming up with that game, and we will have that jersey auction to benefit breast cancer research. So that is tomorrow, and then the Watertown Wolves come to town next weekend for 7:05 and 6:05 games. As we will have on Friday will be Faith and Family Night, and if you are coming with your congregation, please email Brady at phprowlers.com, and you could get into the Faith and Sports Talk, led by Austin Federley and a few other Prowlers players. That is at 5:30 p.m., but you have to email Brady at phprowlers.com and RSVP to get your spot in that. So that is coming up next Friday the 27th, and then the 28th, the Dogs take over McMorrin. No, not the Watertown Wolves, the Pups of the Port Huron area. It's Pucks and Pups night, also Paw Patrol night. So if there are any kids back home who are big Paw Patrol fans, might be watching this game, make sure to get your parents to take you out to the game. 6:05 p.m. Well, Prowlers will be wearing specialty Paw Patrol jerseys, and those will be auctioned off after the game as well. Let's keep on moving to our out-of-town scoreboard, presented by Love After Hours Boutique and Boudoir. The Monroe Moccasins and PD Ice Cats game has been suspended. 8:21 into the first period. My sources are telling me that poor ice conditions down in Florence have caused the suspension of that game. It will be made up at a later date. Blue Ridge Bobcats are all over the Baton Rouge Zydeco in games that are still going on. Daniel Martin and Nick Stuckless have added second period goals, and it is 3-0. Less than a minute left to go in the second. Black Bears, with less than a minute to go in the second period in Indiana, have 4 on the board. Nick Swain has scored twice. Ivan Bondarenko, the other one in the middle frame. All Black Bears there. Wolves have cut into the hat-tricks lead in Watertown, still playing in the second period. And who else but Igor Filipov as the only goal of the middle frame so far. Finally, the Twin City Thunderbirds, with goals from Nate Keeley, Yuri Pastuka, and John Batita, are up 3-0 on the Biloxi Breakers. Of course, here it is 2-1 in favor of the Port Huron Prowlers. The Outtown scoreboard is presented by Love After Hours Boutique and Boudoir. Use code Prowlers for 15% off at Love After Hours. Turning our attention back to this game, we look at our Gunther Graphics game stats from the first 40 minutes. Prowlers up on shots 25-15. Their power play might be able to use a little more work, but both teams have done a relatively good job of staying out of the penalty box, although the Scarecrows do have a power play goal. And Topeka is on its third power play of the game. Sammy Bernard led the Scarecrows out. He's getting set in the goal crease down to our left. And Bernard has stopped 23 of 25 Prowlers shots. Meanwhile, on the other side, Bailey Huber is going to lead his team out in just a few moments. He stopped 14 of 15 Scarecrow shots. There you see the Prowlers in those specialty St. Patrick's Day jerseys heading out to hit the ice. Port Huron looking to continue its success in third periods when leading this season. And we saw Alex Johnson there in the suit. He is still on IR for this weekend, but he will be eligible to come off after this weekend. We have a group of shirtless dudes down in section 23 trying to figure out what they say over there. They all have words written on their stomachs. Oh, it looks like it says Doug, so possibly for Doug Blaisdell of the Topeka Scarecrows. It says Doug in black and orange on their chests. Come on, guys, get in line quickly. You're on the board here. Well, some Scarecrows fans invading the house. Blaisdell hails from Dearborn Heights, Michigan. Played with the Motor City Rockers last year. Minute 5 left in Vinny DeCumbus' diving penalty, so the Scarecrows start the CJ's third period on the power play. We're underway. Trevor Lord slides it ahead to Trevor Graspy. Around for Klink. All three of those guys, former Watertown Wolves stars. Connor Lind for Klink. In front, Smith a drive, hit his own man Graspy, and the Prowlers clear. Klink, Lord, and Graspy, the three of the biggest stars, along with Tate Leeson for the Wolves since their last championship. So starting the 22-23 season, when the Wolves were first defending that third title. They did not find much success with those three guys, at least from a playoff perspective, as they really fell off with their roster getting stripped down following their third championship. And this year, the Wolves missing the playoffs for the first time in franchise history, as Steers shot directed out of play by Bailey Huber just as DeCumbus is released from the sin bin. Not only is it the first time the Wolves are missing the playoffs, it's the first time any franchise from Watertown played a season in the FPHL and did not make the playoffs. See the shot there from Smith. Graspy was the one who kind of made the save. As Klink will draw against Lucas Lockney, back to 5-on-5, minute 5 gone in period 3. Brett Lockhart ahead to Bazal, now to Gagnon. Gagnon tripped over his own blue line. Lockhart back for it. Now Gagnon trying to grab the loose puck in the near side corner. Lockhart couldn't get it up to Graham. Kowash turning, looking, shooting, and a save made by Huber. Bazal couldn't poke it ahead, stayed in the zone. Here's Clark. Knocked away from him by Bazal. Cycled down deep. Klink getting back to his skate, centered out in front off a Topeka foot, and now up high, taken in by Lockney. Kowash got his stick up on Lucas Lockney. No penalty here As Lockney's holding his space, Huber has the puck. And you see Lockney doubled over on the Prowler bench. Take another look. Kowash right there into Lucas Lockney's face. Prowler's faithful let the referees hear about that one. Get a face-off all the way down in Prowler territory. Lind dumps it around. Cycled. Favaro has Lord pinned to the boards. Popped out to the middle of the ice. Ray kicked it back away from danger. Millette kept it moving up the wall. Loose puck in the neutral zone. First flag down by the Scarecrows, but grabbed by Bucell. Shot save, rebound right there. Ray was crashing the net, but his stick was tied up. Favaro over to Organ. Ahead to Bucell, left wing side Ray. Prowlers in the midst of a change as Ray's taken in by Gordon Whalen. Tossed out, glove down by Parsons. Federley. Back for Parsons. Blake Anderson skates in. Over to Price with a quick shot. Stopped by Bernard. And he hangs on. That rattled the mask of the Topeka netminder. Just over 3 minutes gone in period 3. And Sammy Bernard getting all of his straps back where they should be. And you see Price wheeling in, able to get the quick shot off. Might be able to see, if you look closely, that strap hanging off of Bernard's mask. 25 saves tonight for Bernard. Veteran netminder who was selected from the Baton Rouge Zydeco in the expansion draft and has quickly become the top goaltender for Topeka. Avery Smith couldn't keep the puck moving. Comes on goal and covered up by Bernard. Prowlers will keep that unit out there, that forward line at least. They change up the deep pairing. Anderson will draw against, looks like Cam Clark. Top line out for Topeka. LaBelle bounced it around behind the net. Anderson couldn't move it up high. Price kept it deep. LaBelle up to Kowash, just chips it out of the zone. Gagnon ahead to Price off his stick. Steer for LaBelle. Now Kowash launches it in. Klink flags it down with Gagnon. Centered it all the way out front, came all the way to the point. And Blake Anderson back towards his own end, behind the net. Anderson waiting for his team to continue a change. Chased out by Kowash. Anderson circles back. Lockhart, rink wide for Gagnon. Harrison Gagnon fighting off checks. Now Lockhart. As the Prowlers have finished up their change, now they'll start ahead. Lockney had to kick off his boot. LaBelle, D to D for Steer. 3 Scarecrows at the red line. Steer trying to get there to dump it in. Gagnon and Gagnon chasing after it together in the corner. Gagnon for Topeka, Gagnon for Port Huron. Important difference, no relation. Hakala drops it off for Graham. Walking in, fed it over. Favaro, catch and shoot along the ice, stopped by Bernard. Cross corner dump, Lord and Organ after it. Organ and Graspy now. 3 Prowlers, 2 Scarecrows in there as Graspy wheeled it around to the far side. Blaisdell pinched in. Put it off a Prowler skate. Graham bounced it back to Organ. Had to get away from Lord. Prowlers slowing things down in this third period. 5.5 minutes gone in it. Favaro ahead towards Millette. Did he get a touch on it? He did not. Well, Millette thought he got a touch on it. The linesman disagreed. And we'll take a break here on the PHP Network. Face-off coming all the way back to Prowler territory on the other side.
Hi, what can I get for you?
I'd like some McMorrin fries, please.
All right, that's going to be $4. Okay.
She shoots, she scores with the new Prowlers debit card.
Don't you have somewhere to be? The game's on.
Get your Prowlers debit card only at Flagship Community Federal Credit Union, located on Lapeer Road in Port Huron. Flagship Federal Credit Union is federally insured by the NCUA.
Back here in Port Huron, Scarecrows got the first 4 shots of this third period. Prowlers the last 4, but after the icing, Topeka will get an offensive zone face-off. Call Fraser Building at 810-364-2766 or visit FraserBuildingCompany.com for all of your construction needs. From thought to finish, together we build a home. Bucell, Millette, and Ray out there right now for the Prowlers. Again, off the icing. Millette taking the face-off against Checo. Slid up top. Shot towards the net. Ends up off the back glass. Lind couldn't keep the puck in the zone. Checo back to Blaisdell. Try to give it back to Checo. They got their signals crossed. Here comes Bucell. Curls back. Bucell down to Millette. Tries to turn the corner up high, cycles it deep to Bucell. Pushes up the wall, hands off for Ray. Up the boards, Gagnon kept it deep. Millette, stick handling, floats it through, stick save by Bernard. Gagnon, the defenseman, in deep, up high, one-timer Hakala, another stick save for Sammy Bernard. Gagnon kept it in at the line. This time it goes wide. Ray gets there ahead of Avery Smith. Through the body into Alex Ray. Scarecrows looking for a zone exit. It's Bird just tossing it out. Ray gives it up to Graham. Prowlers look to go right back in. Float pass in the area of Lucas Lockney. Graham looking to pull it out of the corner. Lockney digging away. Pushed up the wall. Graham has it. Up to the top to Lockhart. Lets it go. Down to Lockney. His shot off the glove of Bernard and up out of play. Lucas Lockney bidding for his second of the game as the Prowlers went high to low as Lockhart found Lockney on the down by the side of the net. And now they announce in the arena Matt Graham 500th point as a Port Huron Prowler. First Prowler to reach that. Again, 575 points for his FPHL career, but 500 just as a Prowler. Not too many players even get 500 in their careers. Dalton Jay reached that mark with the Prowlers, but that was for his career, not as a Prowler. As Price turnaround try shouldered away by Sammy Bernard. Graham got his 500th FPHL point last season in a game against the Motor City Rockers. So I guess fitting that he gets his 500th point as a Prowler against what is essentially Motor City Rockers West in the Topeka Scarecrows. Here's Steven Klink. Batted in deep. Klink and Federley chasing after it. Klink ends up with the puck. Centered out in front. Kick saving a beauty from Huber. And the second shot from Steer may have been blocked on the way through. Klink cycled down the boards. Parsons grabs it in the far corner. Federley on his backhand, able to flip it out. Federley still playing defense right now with Ben Brockway and Alex Johnson both out. Johnson on the IR, Brockway unspecified. Although Brockway is in the building, I can confirm that. As Jamie Bucell looks to turn in. Drops it off, Millette lets it go, save, rebound popped out. And Gagnon settles it down. Ray gives him some trouble. Bucell on his backhand, save, rebound, another stop. Bucell, Millette shoots, and another save by big Sammy Bernard. Delayed offsides here against the Prowlers. The lead pass is on to Lord. Bavaro cut him off. Sammy Bernard used his whole 6'5", 210-pound frame on that last scrum. Here's another chance for the Prowlers. LaBelle up the wall. Gagnon tosses it out. He's all the way down, no icing. Garrison Gagnon and Trevor Lord get to it. Gagnon played it out, moved up. Back on net by Lind. That changed direction. And Huber able to hang on for his whistle and a face-off. Bailey Huber continues his strong game. There's the big pad stop on the centering feed to Cam Clark. And there's the second shot from Steer. Bird wins this face-off back. Price played it over to the middle. Connor Bazal overskated the puck. Parsons able to one-hand it out to Bazal. Has DeCumbus with him. Bazal forces the puck deep. Popped up in the air and hit the protective netting out of play. So we got a face-off down in Topeka's end. Connor Bazal getting a chance on this line with Price and DeCumbus, at least on that shift. They'll come off in favor of Lucas Lockney's line. Haven't seen much of Bazal tonight. Last night was his first game off the IR. He scored the only Prowler goal. Blaisdell ahead to Smith. Tried to move it along. It was off of Checo's stick. Back in comes Lockney with a curling drag shot over top of the net. And Lind shovels it to the far corner. Prowlers regain control. Favaro up high with a shot. Didn't get all the way through. Hakelet scores! No goal though. They wave it off. Waved off immediately by the referee. They'll take another look at it. Not sure what they're looking at. That puck obviously went in. So the only thing I could think that they might look at is goaltender interference, but I don't see any of that either. Hakel was the one who put it in the net. See Austin Federley and Gordon Whalen having a chat right now with the referee. Chris Paulin is having a talk over on the bench, and they're going to look at it. I think Chris Paulin had to challenge this one. Logan Wedekamp has stepped into the penalty box. There's Hakela. You can see the puck in right there. There it is. See it there right in the top of the net. So if that's what they're looking for, this should be a win for the Prowlers. Now we get the overhead view. Maybe that's what they're looking at. The bump for Graham on Bernard. And you see the puck in very clearly. Let's go back a little bit further. Try and see that contact between Graham and Bernard. Go back a little bit. You saw the puck in. They're looking at it on the iPad right now. But it must be that contact from Graham on Bernard. Fans of the PHP network down in front of us getting loud here. Watch Matt Graham. Contact is going to occur right around here. There it is. It's on the original shot that hit the Topeka defender, and then Heikkila just turned and fired it upstairs. Long review here, and hopefully that's not due to iPad issues. Hopefully that's due to them wanting to make sure they get it right. Take a look from our slash camera here. Can't see the contact there, but again, you can obviously see the puck enter the net. It's right here. So again, if that's what they're looking at, then it's an obvious goal. If it's goaltender interference, then, well, if you've been a hockey fan long enough, you know how goaltender interference works. It's kind of arbitrary sometimes. Personally, I'm not sure if there was enough contact from Graham to warrant the goalie interference, especially because he was way away from the crease by the time the shot came in from Heikkila, and Bernard had plenty of opportunity to reset for that second shot from R2 Heikkila. Here's the original shot from Favaro. And Heikkila, great hands, able to find it and put it home. And it is a good goal. So the Prowlers take a 3-1 lead on R2 Heikkila's 13th of the season. So the long review goes the Prowlers' way, and R2 Heikkila has snapped a 9-game goal drought. Top shelf, no doubt. Scarecrows trying to get some extra explanation here. Blank is upset by something with the call, so maybe it was goaltender interference that they were looking at. All right, there he is, R2 Heikkila. Most recent goal scorer for the Prowlers, just past the midway point of period 3. And the Prowlers get a big insurance marker. Scarecrows do not ice the puck here, as Brian Parsons comes back for it. Federley trying to poke it ahead. Clink, centering feed, poked away by Parsons. Oh, Favaro picks up another assist. And Lucas Lockney with his second point of the game. Kowash cut off by Federley. 2 Prowlers, 1 Scarecrow trying to pull it free. Federley finally grabs the puck, wheels around his net, hands off for Price. Parsons tied up with Clink behind the play. Meanwhile, Price working in, stopped up, was about to get a shot off. But they blow the whistles all the way back down in Prowler territory. We'll get some 4-on-4. Both Parsons and Clink heading to the penalty boxes. We'll step aside here on the PHP Network.
Discover everything banking should be with Advia Credit Union, like earning real financial advantages. You can earn up to $1,000 with your new account. Plus, save an average of nearly $4,000 in interest when refinancing. Get started with a low-rate credit card balance transfer. Enjoy easy access to your money anytime, anywhere. Make the switch today at adviacu.org/real people. Advia Credit Union. Real advantages for real people.
Back here on the PHP Network, your Prowlers officially up 3-1 after the challenged goalie interference was overturned. Will, we talked about it in the intermission, but I really want to reiterate, it can be a very big character franchise kind of defining win. Not that it's going to be huge in the standings, but this is a game that a lot of teams and a lot of groups that, hey, you went to Indiana, came back after a 4-1 loss, got in at the break of dawn, and you get off to a slow start. A lot of teams kind of fold and end up, losing this game 4-1, 5-1. And it's a weekend, you sit back and you say, all right, it just wasn't our weekend. This team battled through it. The energy has been there after a ho-hum first period. And I think this game, maybe more than any others, there's a few other examples, but truly exemplifies what this Prowler team wants to be, battling through and really wanting it more than a team in a playoff race. Will, back to you.
Thank you, Brady. They wanted it so bad they challenged the goal. Hey, look, it's Brett Morick. He changed a little bit. Looks a little bit different than the last time we saw him. Morick still recovering on the IR, so Mitz has taken over his jersey this evening. Can we call that one game worn because Mitz wore it during the game? I think we can. I guess that's up to the folks running the post-game jersey auction that will benefit Sanilac Youth Hockey. Shout out to Thumb Rust Control for getting those jerseys. And again, they are a big part of the community in Sanilac and the youth hockey community. And they are the reason that we are not only seeing the Prowlers wear these jerseys, but also, again, auction them off for that youth hockey organization. Got some 4-on-4 action here. Ryan Parsons and Stephen Clink matching roughing penalties. They're in the box as Josh LaBelle feeds a pass across towards Clark. Crasby taken in by Gagnon, who also got the referee involved. Referee trying to pull his leg free and finally does. Puck still tied up. Squirts loose to Clark. Clark a drive blocked on the way through by Bucell. Crasby back to LaBelle. Clark fed it over to Lord. Back towards Clark, out of his reach. And the Scarecrows have to retreat. Quickly back up. Lord. LaBelle. Working on Hakala. LaBelle across. Clark, one-timer! Shut down by Bailey Huber! Bailey Huber's made some big saves tonight. That might be his best as he gets Huber chants from the McMorran faithful. Cam Clark with 27 goals this season. Got all of that one-timer, and Bailey Huber beat him. Puck stopped up on the back of the net. And we will get a whistle and another face-off with 7.5 left to go in regulation. CJ's Bar and Grill keeps the kitchen open until 1 a.m. and gives you a 10% discount for wearing Prowlers gear on a home game day. It's the perfect place for all of your post-game celebrations. Prowlers hoping to celebrate a win here. Still 7.5 minutes to go, and they're up by 2. Blake Anderson, their goaltender's playing phenomenal hockey this evening. I'm sure Chris Paulin will wax poetic about Bailey Huber in his post-game interview. That will be shown live here on the PHP Network post-game report. And if you want to be the first to hear from Chris Paulin, then be sure to stick around after the final buzzer. Parsons and Clink out of the penalty boxes. Both teams back to full strength. Under 7 to go in regulation. Clink steps back in, but was a little too eager. And Koash was not out of the zone yet. Offsides called against Topeka. 21 saves for Bailey Huber tonight. And again, he's made a lot of big ones. Think about the breakaway on Clink back in the first period when it was still scoreless. Big pad save earlier on Clark from the slot, and then a one-timer for Clark that Huber was able to shut down just moments ago. Kept it a 3-1 game. This line has produced 2 of the 3 goals. Lockney, Hakala, and Matt Graham. Here's Lockney in front looking for Graham off of his stick. Clink able to stretch by Lockhart and then couldn't get a shot away. He's dumped by Nick Favaro. Graham to Favaro right wing into the offensive zone. Drops the shoulder, tried to get to the net. Couldn't bring the puck with him. The puck did slide there. Bucell keeps the puck in from the bench, or fresh off the bench. Down behind the net to Lockney, waiting for help. Cycle to Bucell, around to Millette, behind the net. Millette tried to play it to the middle. Parsons batting at that puck. Bazal gets to it on his backhand. Connor Bazal over to Bucell. Taking a look, spinning in the corner. Handoff for Bazal. Taken in by LaBelle. 2 Scarecrows there. They end up with the puck, and then they ice the puck. Parsons gets back to touch up. Believe that was Clark. Although tough to see on these black Topeka jerseys. Black jerseys, black numbers, and just an orange outline. We can see the numbers on these Topeka sweaters. Again, I've said it before, I feel bad for Brady Bean in the one game he had to do remotely from here in Port Huron. And Topeka's wearing those jerseys. They're tough to see in person. It must be even tougher to see on the screen as Price on his backhand was stopped by Bernard. They stretch it on for Lord, and Favaro stands up Trevor Lord. Smith dumps it down deep. Favaro gave it away. Checo tried to center. Price came back to interrupt that pass. Under 5 to go in regulation. Prowlers leading by 2. They dig away along the Prowler bench. Now Favaro looking ahead. Toss it in Graham's direction. Here comes Lockney with a shot. He scores! Second of the game for Lucas Lockney. Puts the Prowlers up 3. 77 just got enough room to let it rip. The toss from Favaro up the ice. And Lockney goes low blocker on Sammy Bernard. And that might just be the dagger for the Prowlers. They now have a 3-goal lead with 4.5 left to go. Lord able to glove down the puck, takes a shot, fought off by Huber. Penalty coming up here against the Prowlers. And Port Huron's PK will get a chance when we come back. Lucas Lockney has put the Prowlers up by 3, getting down to it here in Port Huron.
Discover 1195 Gastropub in Marysville. Burgers, pizzas, apps, and pub favorites like filet mignon and grilled salmon. Open Monday to Friday, 4 to 9 p.m., weekends 12 to 9 p.m. Join us for happy hour, Monday to Thursday. Enjoy half-off bottles of wine every Wednesday, and don't miss Thirsty Thursday with $4 draft beers. Great food, cold drinks, good times. That's 1195 Gastro Pub.
It's time to wake up on the sunrise side of Michigan. Wake up to beautiful beaches. Wake up to vibrant urban landscapes. Wake up to unique eats. Wake up to charming coastal towns. Wake up to cozy entertainment. Wake up to Michigan's Thumb Coast. Plan your perfect wake-up call using bluewater.org.
We invite you to tune into our next broadcast. That will be tomorrow night. Same time, same place, same matchup. Prowlers and the Topeka Scarecrows, 7:05 p.m. It is taking a shot at breast cancer night. So if you can make it out, please do. We will have specialty jerseys to benefit breast cancer awareness. Again, with the Taking a Shot at Breast Cancer charity. Also, we'll be selling more stuff over at the tables by Guest Services. And we will have a lot, again, for that night. So if you can make it, get your tickets at phprowlers.com/tickets. If you can't make it, please check us out right here on the PHP Network. Garrison Gagnon gets the first penalty of his young pro career. 2 minutes for slashing, sitting there in the box. And Port Huron killing here, up by 2, just over 4 minutes left. Clark fed it down to Bird, centering feed. Gagnon couldn't get a good stick on it. Anderson tosses it ahead. Price trying to track it down. Price with the battle and falling backwards. Sammy Bernard as he made the save. Bobby Price out-muscled Cam Clark for this puck. Brady Beaton talked about who wants it more just a few minutes ago, and Price wanted that puck more than Clark did. Sammy Bernard did all he could just to keep it out of the net. Off this win, it comes back to Lockhart. Dumped it down. Lord fed it across, and Klink gets to it. Klink off to the near side boards to Lord, has Klink going towards the net, instead drops it back to the point. Graspy whips it across to Lind. Connor Lind looking towards the net, save Huber, rebound Lockhart, couldn't clear it down, but here come the Prowlers 2-on-1. DeCumbus with Bucell. DeCumbus took a hit as he tried to make the pass, and back comes Topeka with numbers, 3-on-2. Smith tried to cut in, taken away by DeCumbus, and he sends it all the way back down. 45 seconds left on the penalty to Garrison Gagnon. Hakala with a steal, turnaround shot, missed to the glove side of Sammy Bernard. Puck went really high up in the air, somehow stayed in play. Prowlers just trying to waste some time. Now they floated all the way down. Knocked out of the air by Gagnon, but with a high stick. So that draws the whistle, and a face-off, 2:42 left to go, and 25 seconds left on the Prowlers' 4th PK of the night. Price in on the face-off against Clark. Comes to the boards, LaBelle plays it around behind to Gagnon. Spun back. Jordan Gagnon to Koash. Rink-wide feed on the tape of LaBelle. Slams on the brakes as he enters the offensive zone. Across to Gagnon. Clark. Cycle to Gagnon. Looking in front. Sharp angle try. Hit the outside of the post. Gagnon is out of the box. And the Prowlers back to full strength. Poked around behind the net. Anderson had to change his angle as the puck went off the Zamboni door. Here comes Blake Anderson. Chips it into the offensive zone and heads after it. He's the first one on that puck. Tried to hand off to Bazal. Pitch worked around the far side boards and tossed out by Koash. Organ up to Anderson off his stick. In comes Trevor Lord. Off to Clark on his backhand. Looking towards Koash. Pass was behind him. Looks like no movement from Sammy Bernard. So the Scarecrows will not pull him for the extra attacker, at least at this moment. Graspy took a stick up high. He's holding his face. Has to exit the offensive zone so Clink can work back in. May have been the puck that Graspy caught up high, which is the reason for no penalty. Either way, Oregon with a cross-corner dump gets the puck back in Scarecrow territory. Lord takes the headman feed. Tried to dangle through, couldn't do it. Back up come the Prowlers. Millette delays, cuts across. Millette with a shot, whipped it wide to the blocker side of Sammy Bernard. Caroms all the way down to Bailey Huber's end. 46 seconds left to go in this one. Millette able to work out 3-on-2. Millette over to Anderson. Couldn't bring in that pass as it bounced over his stick. Back the other way is Clark. He couldn't get around Austin Federley. To Cumbus. Dumped in front of the Topeka bench by Grant Quirkendall. Bobby Price takes the turnover. And that will do it. The Prowlers get the win, although Avery Smith trying to start a little bit more at the end. Everybody separated. And Kuykendall, who has seen about 2 ships in this game, barking at the Prowlers. See, there's Reggie Millette knocking Kuykendall off his skates. The Prowlers take it tonight by a final of 4-1. They're back in the win column. Their 32nd win of the season. That matches their win total from last season. And the Prowlers still have about 7 games left to go. Bailey Huber, 23 saves, some 10 bellers in there. We will hear from Huber. He's our Gunther Graphics player of the game. Brady Beaton will chat with him in just a few moments after the Prowlers finish saluting their fans and we get the 3 stars of the game. Stick around for all of that live here on the PHP Network. Also coming up in the post-game show here on the PHP Network. Again, we'll have highlights and analysis, the final game stats, locker room reaction, and more. All that coming up right here, so stick around. Lots more to do. And you will get to hear again the 3 stars of the game announcement here in Port Huron in just a few moments. But first, of course, the prayer circle at center ice to wrap up this game, put a little bow on it. Prowlers with a big bounce back performance. Nick Favaro, 3 assists. Lucas Lockney, 2 goals and an assist. Artu Hakala, 1 and 1. Matt Graham, 2 assists, including his 500th point as a Port Huron Prowler. As they break huddle at center ice. We will, again, in a moment, we will get to hear the 3 stars of the game from public address announcer Austin Dunn. He will announce those for us. And again, we'll have that for you live here on the PHP Network. And then our first star, we'll get to chat with Brady Beaton. Let's take you down to ice level for the 3 stars of the game announcement.
The 3rd star of tonight's game with 3 assists, number 2, Nick Favaro.
Nick Favaro, 3 assists. He's announced as the 3rd
second
star of the game.
Tonight's game with 1 goal and 1 assist, number 28, R2 Heikkila.
R2 Heikkila, goal and an assist, including the one that was reviewed and then eventually called a goal. He is named the number 2 star.
And the first star of tonight's game with 23 saves, number 39, Bailey Huber.
Bailey Huber, a 23 save performance on 24 shots, and I mean, some of those stops, 10 Bellers grade A chances, and a race to get the t-shirt that he tossed into the crowd. And now Huber will chat with our Brady Beaton.
Down here with our Gunther Graphics player of the game, Bailey Huber. 23 saves, that doesn't tell the whole story. Made some acrobatic highlight reel saves. You've been playing a lot more lately. How did it feel to get hot in the crease?
It felt good. I mean, it's been a while since I've had a start at home, so the crowd was incredible tonight. Really brought the energy, and it was able to just like carry our team forward throughout the night. But we played really well. We got a few goals to go in the 3rd, and kind of took the story.
You guys, give up that goal early, but it felt like as the game went along, you fed off the crowd, you fed off each other, and got better and better. What about this team makes it so tough that as the game goes on, you guys get better?
You know, every night we've got a good game plan, and that starts with the coaching, and then just throughout practice, throughout the week, we're getting it dialed. And, you know, playing in front of these guys, they make my job a lot easier than it could be. And we're just all on the same page, and it's really exciting to watch.
You've been getting a little more run lately. How's it felt to, get into a little bit of rhythm and then cap it off with a performance like this tonight?
You know, it's always fun getting some game action, and fortunately I've been in the net. We've been playing well and kind of gotten on a little run lately, so we're going to try to keep building off of it and keep going.
Well, Bailey, congratulations. Go up and celebrate with the guys.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Bailey Huber, our Gunther Graphics player of the game. Will, back to you.
Thank you, Brady. Bailey Huber, again, big reason why the Prowlers got the win here this evening. 4-1 the final over the Topeka Scarecrows. We'll be right back. We'll get through the highlights and break this one down for you on the other side next here on the PHP Network.
Are you sick of asking somebody else to live your own life? I'm Josh with the Franchise Guys. If you're ready to quit your job or build your empire, I'll help you trim down my 800 franchise brand partnerships down to a few that fit you, fit your goals, and fit your budget. With options from senior care to airplane detailing, there's an opportunity for you. Owning a franchise can have up to a 90% success rate. That's better than job security. With the systems and support of a franchise, you won't be making all those costly mistakes as you would if you started your own business from scratch. And with options as low as $6,000 to get your own job-replacing business, there's no better option for you than to book a free call with me and my team. Visit GoFranchiseGuys.com. Stop dreaming about a better life and go live it.
Come party where the Prowlers party at Hamlin Pub. With 10 locations including locally in St. Clair, Richmond, and Chesterfield. Hamlin Pub is the best place for your hangout. Watch the Prowlers or your other favorite sports teams on their mini screens throughout the pub and get your weekend going with live entertainment every Friday and Saturday. Come party like the Prowlers at Hamlin Pub.
Hey, Spike, my hip meds are costing a fortune. My humans are stressed, and they're pretending it's fine.
You're not alone, Max. My humans are cutting back on my flea and tick meds.
Ugh, tell me about it. My thyroid pills were draining the kibble fund until we found Global Pharmacy Plus.
Online stores? Are they actually cheaper?
Way cheaper. They save my humans 40% or more compared to those other big online sites.
My humans can finally afford on premium treats again!
Hey guys, what's going on?
Hi guys, we just stopped at Industrial Park Marathon to get some fuel and some snacks before the Prowlers game at McMorran.
Nice. Yeah, we just stopped by here at Industrial Park Marathon so I can get a Slurpee before the game.
Wait till after the game. If the Prowlers score 3 or more goals, Slurpees will be free.
Thanks for the info. I'm going to get my Slurpee after, but we'll see you at the Prowlers game.
See you at the game. Go
Prowlers!
Yeah, I don't know about this one, fellas.
Boys, we don't overcome adversity by backing down. But yeah, I don't know about this one.
That's reassuring.
We're so screwed.
All right, boys. Here's the game plan. LJ, you start with bananas.
Wait, why do I have to do the bananas?
Because you're the softest on the team.
I don't want the bananas.
This thing is gonna melt. We gotta hurry up.
I won't do it.
Okay, both of you. I will do the bananas and the whipped cream. Fets, please continue.
Who's paying for this anyway?
I am. I just bought my tickets for the Prowlers game this weekend, and the Milk House gave me 25% off my order.
Fets, why'd you buy the tickets? You're literally on the team.
For the discount.
So are you all ready to give it a try?
Oh, we're ready.
It's true. Get 25% off your entire order at the Milk House, October through April. Simply show your ticket stubs at checkout and enjoy your discounted treat.
Well, welcome back here in Port Huron. Little post-game skate with a little post-game stick and puck. Prowlers owner Ken Andrews is out there as well for that, as the Prowlers take down the Topeka Scarecrows by a final score of 4-1. Start to take you back through this one. It was Bailey Huber for the Prowlers. He had started 2 of the last 3 games for Port Huron. Both wins last weekend in Watertown against Sammy Bernard, who came in 16-10-2, 2.61 goals against average, and a 921 save percentage, some of the best numbers in the FPHL. And it was the Scarecrows who were able to get on the board first. Early on, the Prowlers got into some penalty trouble, 5-on-3 for Topeka, and it was Scott Kowash who was able to put home this goal. Again, watch Jordan Gagnon slid it across, got through a few bodies, and Kowash on the backside able to open the scoring with that goal coming 11:57 into the game. But late in that first period, the Prowlers able to stretch the puck ahead as Nick Favaro found Matt Graham right in the middle of the Topeka blue line by himself, and Lucas Lockney hustled up to join that play. Lockney able to tuck it home and give the Prowlers a tie game. It was tied up at 1 through 20 minutes of play. They went into the locker room all knotted up. By the way, that assist was Matt Graham's 500th point as a Port Huron Prowler. Went to the locker room tied up at 1. We had an intermission. We'll take an intermission of this recap to go chat with Prowlers associate head coach Chris Paulin.
Down here for our Schultz Roofing coaches interview with Associate Head Coach Chris Paulin. Coach, you start off a little slow in this one, but I thought, I said on the broadcast, I thought this was a real testament to the character this team has built, where, a lot of teams might have let the weekend spiral. You guys bounced back and not only won the game, but dominated it. What does this game say as a microcosm of the team that's been built here?
Yeah, I agree with you. We had a slow start to the game. Obviously a tough travel situation the last day, guys getting in this morning and having to get some rest, but it's one thing about this group. We love a challenge, and we love it when it's hard and there's a lot of adversity. So guys responded much better in the second. Thought Hubes made some really, really amazing saves in the first period, get us by some of those lapses. It's a team that's pretty opportunistic, and they'll take chances and try to get out in the rush. So when they did that, Hubes did a really nice job, and then we found our legs up in the second and played a lot better in the second and third.
For a team, sometimes losing a goalie like a Reed Cooper can be detrimental, and it can cause a team, you can see a noticeable fall off. How nice is it to have a guy like Bailey Huber, where you lose a talent like Reed Cooper not dressed tonight, and Huber comes in and it seemed exactly the same. He gave you the level of play he did.
Our goalie room is very strong. I mean, thought, JMO came in yesterday, having not played much, played really, really strong for us, gave us every chance to win. Hube's been playing great, just very quietly, but he's been playing great for a long time. I think he and Coop and JMO work really, really well together. It's strong, tight-knit goalie room. They help each other a lot. Coop, even though he's out of the lineup, he's been a strong leader, and that's his presence. So he does more than just save pucks for us, and he's been great when he's out of the lineup as well.
Felt like you had a lot of different contributors from the bench. Who stood out to you on the ice tonight?
Yeah, honestly, I think everybody did something. Everyone chipped in. I think we had some really good defensive play at times. I think we were pretty good in the neutral zone. A long way to go. Long way to go, but some parts of it were really good. Obviously, loved Lockney getting on the board. I was happy for him. Some of the plays Graham made very quietly, but some unbelievable plays that he made. And then I thought our PK, some guys really stepped up. I thought Gags, one of our young guys here, Gagnon, he played some big minutes for us and battled hard, especially in the D zone, did a really good job. Obviously the goaltender, he's got to lead the way, and he certainly did tonight.
Last question for you. You mentioned these young collegiate signings. What is the challenge for you to weave them in? Because they can be an asset, but you've also, you've been a team, you have not made a lot of transactions all year, so you have a built-in chemistry. How do you weave them in without, rocking the boat much at all?
We have the most accepting, welcoming group I've ever been a part of. So there's we vet the guys we bring in very closely. We don't take it lightly inviting someone into this room. There's a lot of guys that have more than enough skill to be here that after a conversation we decide to pass on. So we take it very seriously who we invite in. We know ahead of time how the guys will fit in. There's no surprises. So when the guys come in, I mean, you see how tight-knit the group is. Late in the game, it's 4-1. Last shift, their guy takes out Vinny, and Reggie hops the boards and defends his guy. So that's the way our group is. We play hard for each other. We're very welcoming. Gags has fit in great with the group so far. He'll keep getting better and better.
Coach, I appreciate it as always. Let's do it again tomorrow night.
Sounds good, buddy.
Chris Paulin with our Schultz Roofing coaches interview. Will, back up to you.
Thank you, Brady. They are on the ice right now. The Scouts who came out for Scout Night, Boy Scout, Girl Scout troops. And the Prowlers will also be starting their post-game jersey auction from down there on the ice as well. You never know what you're going to miss if you're not here at McMorran Place. This is just some of the cool stuff that goes on after games here in Port Huron. But back to where we were. We move on to the second period as we were recapping this game. And Jamie Bucell off a nice pass from Blake Anderson, able to put the Prowlers in front 2-1. And we drew it up a little bit on the telestrator during the second intermission report that all the Scarecrows were getting caught puck watching with Blake Anderson behind the net. And Anderson found Bucell in a soft spot down between the hash marks, and that gave the Prowlers a 2-1 lead. They carried that to about the midway point of the third period. This one had to be reviewed. And from what I've been told from my sources down below, this was reviewed just to make sure the puck went in. And you can see very obviously here, you see that puck in the top part of the net. Arttu Heikala, after the first shot from Nick Favaro, hit a Scarecrow on the way through. Heikala grabbed the rebound and put it top shelf. It was a long review, but again, it proved fruitful for the Prowlers. Again, there's that puck in the back of the net. And Heikala put the Prowlers up 3-1 at that point. A 2-goal game coming down to it. And Port Huron able to kill off a penalty. And then with under 5 minutes left to go, they get the final dagger from Lucas Lockney. Nick Favaro tossed it ahead, and Lockney with just a perfect rip to the blocker's side of Sammy Bernard. And when Lockney is at his best, he's taking shots like that. So watch this perfect rip under the blocker over the pad from Lucas Lockney. That pretty much sealed it at that point. Prowlers went on to take it 4-1. But it would not have been that way if not for their goaltender, Bailey Huber, who had himself a very strong game. Lots of grade A chances for the Scarecrows, some of them by Huber's own doing, as you see right here. Gave the puck away behind the net, but hey, no harm, no foul as he gets back and is able to cover up. This was back when it was scoreless in the first period. Stephen Klink, the most dangerous player on the Scarecrows, on a breakaway. Huber calmly got it in the glove. He was under duress for stretches of this game. There's Josh LaBelle able to walk in and pick his spot. Huber fights that shot off. And Bailey Huber, again, 23 saves. Isn't an eye-popping number, but the video is eye-popping. There's the big pad save on Cam Clark. See it again. And then the second shot, that one did get through from Steer. I thought that at first there might have a possibility it was blocked. But that one did get through, and Huber's able to fight that off. This is his best of the night. I mean, the left pad coming all the way across. Cam Clark with a backdoor one-timer, and Huber shut that down. And after the early goal, which really was a backdoor play on a 5-on-3, not at all his fault, Bailey Huber was perfect the rest of the way. 23 saves, his 10th win of the season. He has won each of his last 3 starts, and he is, again, our Gunther Graphics player of the game. Gunther Graphics, your go-to guy for logos, websites, and branding. Huber was announced as the first star of the game here at McMorran Place. Arttu Heikala announced as the second star of the goal and an assist. Nick Favaro, the third star, with 3 helpers. Coming up on the other side, we will take one last look at the out-of-town scoreboard and wrap this one up from McMorran Place. It's next here on the PHP Network.
Hockey is like a business. One missed pass can derail the perfect plan. Have Taft Consulting help you get your whole team on the same page. They have the expertise to help you follow through on all your goals. Find out how they can help you today by emailing taftconsulting@outlook.com.
Hello, I'm home. There he is. What is happening?
Relax. We won. They brought back the snack wrap. Spicy or ranch?
Spicy.
Yeah, go. Yeah. Just one little bite.
Can you stop?
Oh, sorry.
Gather your crew. The snack wrap is back.
SMR Automotive Systems is part of the Motherson Group and a proud community sponsor of the Port Huron Prowlers. We are one of the largest manufacturers of rearview mirrors for passenger vehicles in the world, with local plants in Port Huron and Marysville. We strive to support our local communities and have positions available for various abilities and experience. Find out more about who we are at smr-automotive.com.
Is that him?
Look over there. It's Bob. Wow, just look at that hair.
Ever since he started getting his stuff from Global, the guy's unstoppable.
So that's what confidence can do?
That's just not fair.
Oh my goodness, it's Bob! Bob! Bob!
Give me the phone. I'm calling Global Pharmacy Plus for myself.
This isn't working. LJ, pass me those flyers. No look behind the back pass? It's a whole play, LJ, come on. Gap up, close the gap. Close the gap, what are we saying? This isn't working. We need a shift change. Let's bring in the professionals.
What's more authentic than a Hungry Howie's Detroit-style pizza? Nothing. We're not playing around with the pizza of our birthplace. Thick crust, cheese to the edge, sauce on the top. Where it belongs. We've seen a lot of fakes out there. Not here. This is authentic Detroit-style pizza. Order yours now online for $12.99. We sauce the top and rep for the 313 everywhere. We do bold. Hungry Howie's.
Jersey auction underway to benefit Sanilac Youth Hockey as the Prowlers again took down the Topeka Scarecrows by a final of 4-1. Let's take one last look at our Gunther Graphics game stats from the end of this one. Prowlers win at 4-1. They outshoot the Scarecrows 38-24. Topeka 1 for 4 on the power play. Prowlers unable to really get the man advantage going, but they were able to score 5-on-5. This is a 5-on-5 team for the Prowlers, as they did get another penalty or two at the end of the game. Looks like they've put down Reggie Millette for inciting at the end of the game, as he got involved with Grant Corkendall, who was playing probably his second shift of the game as the buzzer sounded. Those are your Gunther Graphics game stats. Now, one last time, we look around the FPHL. Got a couple of final scores to show you. And, of course, we start with the Monroe Moccasins and the PD Ice Cats. That game was suspended due to poor ice conditions in Florence. So that will be made up at a later date, I guess. That's not my problem. Moving on to games that did finish, the Blue Ridge Bobcats got 26 saves from Anthony Strum as they shut out the Baton Rouge Zydeco 3-0. Binghamton Black Bears got 21 saves from Dominic Tomei, sixth shutout of the season for Tomei as they took down the Indiana Sentinels 6-0. Nick Swain had a hat trick in that game as well. Danbury moved closer to Topeka, or at least will move closer to Topeka. In the final minutes in Watertown, hat tricks up 5-1. Grady Friedman and Jordan Crom have 2 goals apiece for the hat tricks. It's a rout in Winston-Salem. Twin City Thunderbirds up 8-2 on the Biloxi Breakers in the third period. Twin City led by Jan Salaks, 3 assists. They have 7 players with multiple points in that game, including 2 goals for Connor Craig and 2 assists for Cole Crowder, one of their new guys. And, of course, here the Prowlers defeat the Scarecrows by a final of 4-1. Uptown Scoreboard presented by Love After Hours Boutique and Boudoir. Use code Prowlers for 15% off at Love After Hours. That's going to do it for us here on the PHP Network. Christian Jackson and Andres Hyde were running the broadcast tonight. Zach Dotson was on graphics. Liz Brown also running things as well up here in the booth. On the cameras tonight, Kyle Cosson, Kim Nelson, Alexander Nelson, Paul Campbell, and Aiden Bricker. For Brady Beaton and the entire team, my name is Will Wiggleman, telling you to tune in same time, same place tomorrow night when the Prowlers and the Scarecrows wrap up the weekend. And we will see you right here on the PHP Network. Have a great rest of your Friday evening.